can't be loved by everybody. It's impossible, you know. And trust me, it's okay. So let the toxic people go. Your peace within is more priceless than a pearl. You got to be happy, cause life's just way too short. Don't stress the little things, they will only waste your time. Just take it easy, easy like a nursery rhyme. And I'm singing, I know it's gonna be okay. So I wanna see you smile today. Hey, you just gotta be happy, man. Good days, bad days, it's all part of life. But you must keep the groove on and enjoy every single day. I'm sure you've had some happy days before. So what makes you think you can't have more? Keep on fighting and you'll see. You will soon see rainbows. Hey, come on! La 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 la, la 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 la, ba-dum ba-dum boom. La 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 la, la 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 la, ba-dum ba-dum boom. La 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 la, la 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 la, ba-dum ba-dum boom. La 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 la, la 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 la. Beautiful clouds, where you are, where you
Tanumo, or Nunchoni How or Dama, Giecheli Wekun, when Yanutumo, or Solimojiake, Ubawanani, Aya, Baba Shushui. Amen. Tanumo, or Nunchoni How or Dama, Giecheli Wekun. When Yanutumo, or Solimojiake, Ubawanani, Aya, Baba Shushui. Amen.
Me MP no bibi to a mini and this for Cambom and ye ready on way. Nipa aka baby a disaster say na ye pamo MPP ni why in a disaster
who is only from current MP
there be oba on oboma money ready on way national security for any police no soldier and they are sacking me like a goat. I want the world to know this is very disgraceful, and so the whole of Ayawaso Central should know that this has been all my politics into me. I've done what I have to do. I was coming here now but into me coffee. But Ghana, this is bad. It is very, very, very bad. And I'm pinning this on the Ghana police, of whom I've been an interior minister before. They have shown misconduct today, very disrespectful, including somebody who claims to be a national security operations, a colonel. This is me MP no. Bibi to a mini and this for Cambom and ye ready on way. Nipa aka baby a disaster say na ye pamo MPP ni why in a disaster
who is only from current MP
there be oba on oboma money ready on way national security for any police no soldier and they are sacking me like a goat. I want the world to know this is very disgraceful, and so the whole of Ayawaso Central should know that this has been all my politics into me. I've done what I have to do. I was coming here now but into me coffee. But Ghana, this is bad. It is very, very, very bad. And I'm pinning this on the Ghana police, of whom I've been an interior minister before. They have shown misconduct today, very disrespectful, including somebody who claims to be a national security operations, a colonel. This is me MP no. Bibi to a mini and this for Cambom and ye ready on way. Nipa aka baby a disaster say na ye pamo MPP ni why in a disaster
who is only from
I must say that this is a very sad day for all of us. I mean, a Sunday that is meant for worship has turned into a very tragedy that is unforeseen and unfortunate. Let me say, I want to start by thanking God Almighty for all our lives and those that have been able to rescue, and especially thank the team here. I mean, we have the fire service. You can see the chief fire himself being here on the team. We sincerely thank the team for the wonderful work done. We have the police here. We have the local commander. You have the operations at the national headquarters, their team. We want to sincerely thank them for the wonderful work that they've been doing since they started. We have the military here, the 48 Engineers Regiment. They are also here. We sincerely thank them for the promptness with which they came. I had to call the Chief of Army Staff, and they didn't drag their feet, and they were prompt to come and working tirelessly since they came here. Then we have NADMO, the other General of NADMO, who is also here with his team. I want to thank them sincerely for all the work that they have done, the MC for the place, the Member of Parliament for the place, and all of you who have shown so much concern and have been here. We want to extend the condolences of His Excellency and that of the government to the family and the church for the loss. So far, information that have been cross-checked, double-checked, visited all the hospitals just to be sure that we don't give any information that may be the fact, as we all know. I mean, it's very difficult for it to go to how many people were in there, but at least with the cross-check from the police, from the, sorry, I forgot the ambulance service and their team. I mean, they've been here the whole night. I mean, and they've done a wonderful job. We are really very grateful. The media, yourself, and everybody that I may have forgotten to mention. We've gotten the fire service to do the count of what they were able to do. We've gotten police to do their count. We've gotten NADMO to do their count. We've gotten the ambulance service to do their count. And at least we've put all the information together. And what we can say is that there was a total of 23. Unfortunately, we've lost 3. The 3 that we've lost are a male and 2 females. I'm not able to tell names for now. And thank God, 20 are alive in various hospitals. We have police hospital, the 37 military hospital, Mamobi, and a private facility where we have all these 20 people. Out of the 23, the total number of females among them are 14, 15, with 8 being male. Out of these, we have minors that are 7, but those who have lost their life, there's no minor among the dead. All of them are adults, which is very unfortunate. But the rest are coping very well. But some of them were being discharged, and we insisted that look, just make sure that nobody goes home and later have other challenges. So it's just too unfortunate. And you've seen what we've tried to do. We brought in the police canine dogs, and then we brought in the narcotics control commission's canine dogs, and then the military. And we made sure that they went through one after the other, and to be sure that there's no resemblance of some other persons trapped in there. So for now, at least with what the dogs have done, with what the military have cross-checked, we can say with some maybe 90 to 95% certainty that we no longer have any other persons in. So meaning that largely, in terms of rescue, we may say the rescue is coming to an end, but they will have to continue with the collection of the debris. We are hoping that nothing should be found, just as the dogs and all the check has happened, so that we don't have further loss of life or further injured persons in there. So we want to thank all of you for the good work that you've done, and to assure you that we'll continue to do the very best that we can. Obviously, this will call for a full-blown investigation. We are hearing pieces of information that the Municipal Assembly had already sent warning that this building should not be used. Only last week, I'm told. But unfortunately, they didn't even know that some people have come in today to worship. Maybe this is the right signal to all of us that when things like this are done, then we need to position officers to make sure that nobody goes. But this is not the time for playing game. This is the time to see what do we do to keep ourselves together, because in the time of difficulty like this is not the time you have to apportion blame and divide. So I want to thank everybody, the area boys. They did so well before the rescue team came. They on their own managed to do a lot, and we appreciate what they have done. So I want to thank you, the media, too, for your coverage. I mean, you stayed all this long, just up to this point. So I want to thank you sincerely, and I assure you that this is not at the end. This is just the beginning of many, many other things to happen. We have to investigate how did this happen, how can we prevent this from happening into the future. We need to collect all these debris and be able to get the school to run. So we do only thank God. I mean, I can't imagine that if this has happened on a Monday or some other day when the school, that would have been. So, in all things, we need to thank God for what He has done for us. So, I want to thank you sincerely.
Okay,
Minister, please, are the kids supposed to come to school tomorrow?
Well, it will depend
on how much we are able to collect. So, but now we think that it's left with the MC and the team to look at the environment and how much we're able to do tomorrow morning. That will determine what will happen. Thank you so much.
And I watch them.
I'll be that dude.
We're looking to do the same with all our agricultural exports, especially cocoa. The recent incident with cocoa, with the prices plummeting, and you see all the videos of Mahama Wodiyaka of cocoa farmers protesting in the cocoa farms. And it is because for almost 70 years after we gained independence, we're still exporting raw beans to the world. I believe that what has happened in the international market should be a wake-up call for us, and that we must allocate more of our beans. And we're taking the first step to doing that because we're changing the financing model. Before, we got the traders and others who buy the cocoa to advance the money for us to buy the cocoa from our farmers. Now we say we're going to raise the money ourselves and buy our own cocoa. And when we're taking the money from the traders to buy the cocoa from our farmers, the collateral for the money they were advancing us were the cocoa beans. And so once you bought the cocoa beans, it was the collateral for the financing they gave you. So now, if we raise our money, we buy our own cocoa. Our cocoa is not collateral to anybody. And so we can decide what to do with it. And we're saying that we're going to allocate the bulk of our cocoa to the local processors to process that cocoa before we export it. And I want to say that there's a historic link between Ghana and Pennsylvania. There's a historic link between Ghana and Lincoln University. Whatever disagreements have come up, for me, Lincoln University holds a special place in my heart. Because those are hallowed grounds for Ghana. It is part of our history. We cannot divorce Lincoln University from the history of Ghana. That is where our first president, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, was nurtured with his intellectual capacity and his Pan-Africanist spirit. And it was from there he took that spark and led the liberation struggle, not only in Ghana, but across the African continent. And so the grounds of Lincoln are hallowed grounds for Ghanaians, and will continue to hold that institution in high esteem.
I ask my students, do you think that the call for reparation is justified? Okay, and then the students are able to look at all the kinds of things that have happened to Ghanaians since independence to date, and they are able to unanimously dismiss the idea or call for reparation. Why? We are a nation that is noted for fetching water with baskets. So reparation, so that they give us money and Sisi Adapa will go and hide under her bed. I mean, please, until we block all the leakages and slippages, until we show the political will to deal with corruption, until we demonstrate to our people that we are willing to govern well, the call for reparation would remain a wishful thinking or a wishful call for leaders who have nothing to say when they get to the international community. Right. If President Akufo-Addo is interested in reparation, let him begin to do his homework. Let him ensure that the leakages and slippages. The last time I asked, when they were trying to increase taxations on so many, I asked what they were using the money for, and people were insulting me. They didn't understand. I was trying to say that if you tax all of us and you put the money in a basket, okay, the money becomes like water that you put in a basket. It will leak into other people. So reparation under the current dispensation or under current happenings in Ghana is a call aimed at making people in government rich and further impoverishing the lives of the people, because we have a lot of resources. Evidence abounds to show. If you look at oil wells and all that, at the time President Akufo-Addo and his people took over, we had a lot of resources.
They got more.
Okay, they got more. So you need that money to do what? I'm telling other countries that we are making set demands to, that look, if they would heed to those demands, they should first ensure that we've sealed all the avenues for leakages and slippages.
Central Bank. And one of the things we've observed, and as you noted, has been the deceleration in inflation in recent months. Can I ask, did you have to, one of the first things you had to do was to tighten, or you had inherited a sufficiently tight monetary policy stance? What other actions did you take to get inflation to get to your target range?
So when we came in, we saw that we had to do a number of things. Even the entire monetary policy framework needed to be upgraded. We needed to strengthen the credibility of the central bank. There was a lot of liquidity that had built up, and so we needed to do lots of sterilization. We also needed the complementary, efforts from the fiscal authorities, and so we had to engage the fiscal authorities at the same time. And then you also needed to look at food prices. So it was a complementary effort across all fronts that has helped to, deliver the disinflation we are looking at. But we give a lot of credit to the tight monetary policy stance we have preserved. Currently, even though we are easing, we are still holding that anchor very strong. Strong liquidity management, strong sterilization. For that, we will not compromise, even as we ease downward.
Government is broke, The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you very much for joining the show. This is Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. This show is also live on 94.1 FM. My name is Audu Moro, and it's always a pleasure to come your way to a beautiful Monday morning. It's the start of the week, and as I've said it time and again, the start of the week, typically on a Monday like this, should offer us a fresh opportunity to sort of reset and to set productive goals and to also embrace positive beginnings. It's also a chance to embrace new possibilities. And I've said this time and time and again, so please, this is my 2 pesos for you when it comes to my nuggets of wisdom that I from time to time share on the show. Let me also say a big thanks to Almighty God for making it possible for us to return here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that are making the rounds in our dear country, Ghana. So I'll go straight ahead and look at what the papers are reporting this morning. So Daily Graphic says that the government to distribute improved tomato variety seeds. Omni Besig delivers 104% profit growth. Assets deposits double in 2025. As customs AI rakes in millions a day. Revenue projected to increase with full rollout. And then there's also Trade Minister advances nation's interest at WTO conference. The Ghanaian Times says respects Ghana's position on LGBTQ+. President Mahama tells international partners. Strong growth cements Omni Besig's market position, records 104% profit increase in 2025. This Professor Tego calls for holistic approach to TVET. Use part of Mahama Cares to tackle air pollution, the government urged. Daily Guide says that quickening Bogoso Prestia mine redevelopment, according to chiefs, that's also Africa's AI policy response must be borderless, according to Baumia. 73 billion city sole source road contracts under fire. Sunday floods displays Accra residents. Over 30 trapped in Newtown building collapse. The New Crusading Guide this morning says Baumia urges Africa to strengthen foundations to compete in AI era. The standing tall against falsehoods, the truth of DSP Alhaji Bawa Abdul Jalil. And there's also upon Chroma Precious majority over Gold Board prove transparency. Galamsey declared enemy of the state as NIMOS reports 87.7% success rate. There's Paul Apreku Chum Berima called to the bar, joins Ghana's legal professional. Paul, congratulations. Congrats. Paul was my mate back at the University of Ghana, Legon. He's always been a fighter. He's always been a, a goal setter and a goal getter. So I'm not surprised at all that you've now been called to the bar. Congratulations. Make us proud. There's CAT's calls for state funding of viable CSOs. There's former Seshi Akontombra MP calls for all big push projects. Actually, Big Push Pro. The Inside says Pan-African movement back Cuba amid escalating United States blockade and sanctions. The Council of State congratulates Mahama on slave trade resolution victory. Russia offers to help Africa quantify slavery reparations claims. The SNITS assets hits 25 billion cedis in 2025. Records strong growth on God Ghana Limited launched supports youth wing with Pragia and Abubuya. Catholic bishops rally behind Mahama over Lincoln degree controversy. The Herald this morning says Attorney General and Yoko under pressure to catch criminals behind 68.7 billion cedis dubious claims as Finance Minister blocks leakages after audits claims. Rose Minister rubbishes inflated contracts accusation by Fourth Estate. Sam Jonah raises alarm over political capture of insurance industry. Recurring floods hit Accra after overnight downpour. Bakavoma alleges severe breaches in Abutrika case, reveals amount involved as $13,000, not $8 million US dollars. The custodian this morning says gold for reserves probe will happen in future upon Chroma tells majority. Baumia outlines 6-point policies to make Africa global AI leader. NDC caught in sole source road contract deal, 63 million US dollars being spent to fix a road built at 23 million US dollars in 2026. Julius Zebra Mons Burkinabe terrorist victim Constant Nyako. The Daily Statesman says we need urgent action on artificial intelligence. Bamia charges African leaders over AI readiness. There's Julius Zebra Mons, Burkina Faso terrorist attack victims. There's Beatrice Oware, eyes Mampon Seath with industrial plan. Owarewa, that's her name. There's Bamia charges African leaders over AI readiness. There's Akufo-Addo to lead ECOWAS election observers in Benin. The Ghanaian publisher says big push, big loot, storm deepens. Africa risks missing out on AI revolution. According to Bamia, we won't be silenced or cowed. Afrenyo marking fires warning. Julius Zebra Mons tomato trader. Yeah, that's her name. The Metro Lens this morning says that no home burials according to the Ochehene. And there's also Accra floods again after Sunday downpour. 3-story school building collapses in Accra, Newtown. 2 dead, 16 rescued, 12 trapped. The Daily Searchlight, tensions rise in Nkwanta South. MCA's brother killed, claims image of attempt to free military and dead man. There's Wenchi gets new queen mother. There's Donko brothers laid to rest. 74th Annual Council of WAEC held to leverage academic growth in the sub-region. And then you also have the online portals are reporting very interesting stories. Now, my Joe Online this morning says 3 dead, 20 hospitalized in Accra Newtown building collapse, according to Interior Minister. From promised jobs to the front lines, how Ghanaian recruits signed irregular Russian military contracts. Minister storm Accra Newtown collapse site as rescue intensifies. The City Newsroom says 3 dead, 20 rescued after building collapse in Accra Newtown. There's ban on tomato exports. Traders demanded urgent government action. From village to value chain, why back to your village food festival matters for Ghana's economy. Metro TV Online says Beatrice Owarewa Siao declares MP ambition for the Mampon seat. There's also Blakwa decline, surprise welcome after UN slavery resolution success. There's Ampuega SHS marks 60 years with colorful celebration. Black Stars ready to bounce back against Germany, Otto Addo. And there's 400,000 Momo saga linked to gold robbery probe. Ghana Web this morning says, I was sacked like a goat. Henry Quarty fumes after being chased away at Newtown. Davido finally speaks on how he feels about the Grammys after 3 losses. And there's transport operators give a government 2-day ultimatum of a fuel price. There's GFA holds crisis meeting with Black Stars technical team after Austria thrashing. All right, so that's it for the newspapers, the online portals for today. Stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. I have a conversation coming up about the Kwahu Business Festival. Don't go anywhere, please.
Yeah, MP no. Bibi to a many this for Kabum any year. Ready on way. Nipa aka baby. A disaster say. Na ye pamo MPP ni. Why? In a disaster?
Yeah, who say only from my current MP nam dey.
There be Oba hon obo me amani. Ready on way. National security for any police ni soldier. And they are sacking me like a goat. I want the world to know this is very disgraceful. And so the whole of Ayawaso Central should know that this has been all my politics into me. I've done what I have to do. I was coming here. Now but into me coffee. But Ghana, this is bad. It is very, very, very bad. And I'm pinning this on the Ghana police, of whom I've been an interior minister before. They have shown misconduct today. Very disrespectful, including somebody who claims to be a national security operations a colonel. This is very
Start your Kids Day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future.
March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. Have you attained 45 years and older? Notice blood in your stool, a family history of cancer? Then don't wait to have a colonoscopy. Early detection of cancer and effective treatment save lives.
There are weak points in the development and spread of cancers of the large bowel that we have control over to stop, to reduce the incidence and deaths from these cancers. Achieving this success depends on you and me. We are fully prepared. What about you?
Visit Mintuba Hospital and Coloproctology Center today or call us. Mintuba Hospital, first Ghana Colorectal Center, in to serve a peculiar health need.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit's toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit's, happy smile.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friendly Kakalika, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Friendly once now.
Hey, that's a new. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the accent. Me did it, Sasso spray. Mr. Friendly Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso.
Come tum preko.
Hey, Unia, new release niana. Kaya gum.
A bitino was me new release. Me can no access fit mu hono. And na Tabletech Garages Limited. Akwafa besiesia amana aye nitia. Obi ase ye car mu no.
Accident car no na. Tabletech Garages Limited. Amana se gina ne naso sa no.
Me se wo. Wo mu akwafa broni fita engineer afira brochiraba. And wo check cars no. Na wo hunu ba bi a fault krowo. And ho spare parts so ade hyehyɛ. Afena si road. And so ho charges kakra bi o.
Tabletech Garages Limited.
Wo ye general servicing. Ebi engine overhauling, engine tuning, oven spraying, general electrical works, air condition installation work, BMU, upholstery, gearbox, make a day.
Tabletech Garages Limited.
Apart from sir, car that wotimi ato, and now Toma one was higher importation of cars and who spare parts. If la butreba, Wokoto car mawa, a free.
Hey, also what you kwaway.
Tabletech Garages Limited. Our La Paz Malam Road. After Bayard traffic light. Wow. Bibiania for 0206 48 17 and 3. And 0542 96 1111. Website tabletechghana.com.
Tabletech Garages Limited.
Hey, Kaya will be a benyani.
Tabletech Garages Limited.
Your car beauty and the power boosters.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, and who be here? Symmetry Sapapadia to a mammy man for Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so buying, a man is swing, and a sense of Mama Hotel so a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, Bunty, why you there? What lie tell I today go give me my money.
Oh, my guy, what's up? Oba un se me na dede baby. Scano ASA 500 cedis per. Ah.
I see. Level don't change.
But to show me the way. But there's some sorry Amanua. Talk to babe.
¿Quieres ganar dinero?
Huh?
Cash.
Yes, cash.
Let me show you the easy way to make money with OneChat.
Visit the WannaOwn website at wannaown.us. Sign up with your phone number and get ready to play. Select games on the homepage and then select One Shot Game. Deposit to make an entry, then pick a number from 0 to 99. If your number comes up, you win a cool 500 cedis.
Hey, so it'll be easy like that.
Just like that.
So I'll go fit buy my dream car.
Por supuesto. Just visit wannaown.us and win some cool cash prizes.
Baby, yes, baby.
Boom!
You need too much.
Play responsibly. Gaming can be addictive. Accredited and endorsed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
You're watching Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. My name is Abdul Moro. Now, from the 3rd to the 5th of April, there's a big, massive event that's coming off here in Ghana. Here I'm talking about the Eastern region, Kwahu specifically. And I don't want to be the how do you call it? I don't want to do a rendition, because the original composer of the song is here to tell us more about why this is such a massive event that's coming off from the 3rd to the 5th of April. But before I do that, let me say that, let me just set the tone for this conversation with this, that when nations rise, it begins with bold conversations, and when economies grow, it is driven by partnership. And as I said, this April, Ghana's business and policy leaders are converging at the Kwahu Business Forum 2026. Is the nation's premier platform for investment, enterprise, and economic transformation. Now, there's a special guest of honor for this big occasion, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. He's the man. He'll be joining captains of industry, financial institutions, investors, and entrepreneurs. Now, we want you to come and engage in high-level dialogue and explore industry exhibitions, build powerful networks, and unlock real opportunities. Now, from finance to insurance to manufacturing, agribusiness, SMEs, and innovation, this is where it all begins. Now, it's starting from the 3rd to the 5th of April 2026. I'm at the Kwahu Convention Center in the ATBA. You can go to www.kwahubusinessforum.com and register now to attend. You can also register for exhibitions and just call the number 059-555-5885. So the numbers again are 059-555-5885 or 059-555-5995. So Kwahu Business Forum is connecting, is promoting, and we're growing. And it's proudly sponsored by a platinum sponsor. Here I'm talking KGL Group. There's a gold sponsors, APSA, CBG, Republic Bank, Star Oil, and there's a Bower Rock, there's a GCB, there's Serene Insurance, and the silver sponsor is UMB Bank, Fidelity Bank, Bank of Africa, Omni Basic Bank, there's ADB, there's Bosta Energies, and there's also GRA, there's SNIT, there's Natural, there's X Natural Mineral Water. The bronze sponsors are EcoBank, NIB PLC, there's NutriFoods Ghana, there's Casa Precon, Emexu Ghana, there's Virtual Security Africa, and the media partners, Joy FM, Joy News, and Metro Television. Basically, the Ignite Media Group at the forefront of this. And we'll bring you all that you need to know about the Kwahu Business Forum. Massive, massive event, never seen in this country before, but it is happening now. You don't want to miss out on this. So joining me this morning for a brief conversation about the importance of this forum and also how did this idea even come up in the first place, what we want to achieve with this, and how do we sustain this, and what is going to happen, more importantly, from the 3rd to the 5th of April, who are coming, and so on and so forth. So this is the conversation for this morning. So joining me this morning is Samira Ladi Glau. She is a team member of the Kwahu Business Forum. She's here with us. Samira, good morning.
Good morning, Mauro.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
I hope I'm doing very well. God is keeping us.
Thank God.
Yes, good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, we have I'm not going to say a mutual friend, but I have a friend you know very well. And I don't have his permission to mention his name, but he says hi, he's watching.
Hello to him too.
Don't worry, I'm talking about your husband. He's a very good friend. Yes, I'm talking about Elon. Yes. He's also joining us, a very good friend of mine. He's not even a friend, he's almost like a brother to me. We go way, way, way back. I was happy to hear that he was part of the organizing team for this big, massive, never seen in the history of this country before. I'm talking about the Kwahu Business Forum. That's Benjamin Esuman. He has been a journalist, and I want to believe he's still a journalist. And back in the day when he writes, we call it a stinker. You know, people run helter-skelter, you know. Ben, good to see you, bro.
Good to see you.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah. It's been a minute, eh?
Yeah.
Do you miss your journalism days when you write, Charlie? Everybody runs away. You know, do you miss those days? I'm sure you do, eh?
These days, because of social media, once in a while.
Yeah. You've taken the writings to social media?
Not
regularly, quite.
Yeah,
not regularly.
Once in a while, sometimes not even under your name.
Right. Now, let's talk about this big event. Now, you've gotten the whole of Ghana, you know, sort of, you've been able to grab our attention, and you've gotten the whole of Ghana talking, in fact, since last year, because it's never happened before. I mean, we're talking about the caliber of people who you're able to bring together to have a conversation about not just a particular, geographical location. We're talking about Ghana, and I'm sure that at some point you'll be even thinking Africa. I mean, why was this? What is this big idea here? The Kwahu Business Forum. What is it? How did it even come up in the first place?
Okay, thank you, and good morning to our viewers. Welcome to Good Morning. The Kwahu Business Forum was a concept developed by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his Chief of Staff.
Okay.
Then former President of Ghana at the time in 2004, in the run-up to the Easter festivities.
Okay.
So the first Kwahu Business Forum happened at the Kwahu Impriso Social Center Where
Did you say 2004?
2024.
24. Yes.
Yes.
That was a bit, 2024.
Yes.
Right.
When he was in opposition.
Right.
Then former president. He and his chief of staff brought about a concept of hosting the businessmen who would leave their businesses during Easter and climb the mountain to Kwahu to go and relax and enjoy the Easter festivities. You know, because of the Kwahu bars.
Yeah.
So they took advantage of that and gathered the businessmen. That featured also the next line of Kwahu business people, their children who are taking over or who are running their businesses as of now. So, and sometimes their spouses as well. So that meeting happened. And it was supposed to enable the then former president to know about the challenges of the business community and how to also encourage them to build synergy among themselves. And then by knowing the synergy and the challenges that they have, then upon God's grace, should he become president, he would then know how to help stabilize conditions for them to be able to expand and grow. So when, by God's grace, he won the December elections of that year, then last year we had to organize the second version or the second edition of the Kwahu Business Forum. One of the challenges that the business community brought to its attention in 2024 was the issue of access to capital. So last year, he tasked the Chief of Staff, the Honorable Joe Zebra, to mobilize all the banks who were ready to partner the business community in Ghana to Kwahu, to meet them, not this time, not in the banking halls, but in their setting, in their holiday period, to have a discussion as to what they can do to assist. So that's what happened last year. That was the focus. And we finished that one, and then this year has a different kind of goal for the 2026 one. So this year will be the third edition of the Kwahu Business Forum.
Have you been analyzing, evaluating success, and would you say that the first two Kwahu Business Forums that have been held have been worth the while?
Oh yes.
Okay.
The response of the business community and the financial institutions last year itself spoke volumes of what the 2024 one brought. Last year we had attendees who could not even find space in the dome.
Right.
And there were so many that we tried to even mount giant screens outside to contain the pressure. So that should tell you the high level of interest in it. Last year, let me tell you a story. There was a young man who came to Kwahu Business Forum 2025 and spoke about a business concept that he has, that he wants to develop and all that. Right inside auditorium, the Minister of Trade and Industry and Agribusiness directed ADB to pick up the young man's proposal and work with them.
Okay.
And work with him to get results. And as we are speaking, it's supposed to be managed by ADB to build his project. So that's how results.
So Kwahu Business Forum gets results.
You can say that if we're given.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why this year we have decided to open up more.
Okay.
To I'm sure
will tell us a bit more.
Some will speak about it. We have to open up more to get more of startups and people with ideas and to be polished up and help. Yeah.
So Samira, what's going to be different about this year's business forum? What should we expect? How is it going to look like for this year?
Thank you, Maureen. Good morning to your lovely viewers. This year is a phenomenal one. This year's event is going to be phenomenal. We're looking at networking opportunities between small and medium enterprises and big companies.
Right.
We're also looking at investor connections, where we help businesses access funding, which is very, very important. We're also looking at trade exhibitions, trade fair, as we call it, where businesses would showcase their products and services. We're looking at industries like banking, finance, health, agribusiness, automobile, food and beverage, and the likes. Yes. So this year, expect nothing but the best. We're also looking at business support sessions. Very, very important. We're looking at matching small-scale and medium-scale enterprises with the right pool of people to network and also to tap to funding that's available to them. You mentioned that ATBA. This year, it's held at the Kwahu Convention Center at Impriaso Hills.
Oh, not ATBA. It's in Impriaso.
Yes. Impriaso Hills,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's from the 3rd of April to the 5th of April.
Right.
As you rightly mentioned. So this platform, Kwahu Business Forum, is here to stay.
Right.
And this platform is a premier platform that fosters dialogue between government, private sector, stakeholders, financial institutions, investors, as well as entrepreneurs. And it's all aimed at advancing Ghana's economic transformation agenda. This year, as we've always promoted, it's geared towards business promotion, network opportunities, and also drive growth at the Ghana's private sector, most important.
So, and as I did mention in the live presenter mention that I read, that His Excellency the President himself be there. He's a special guest of honor, isn't it?
Yes, he is.
Right. Again, so what time does it start?
Okay. The event starts, so we have, going through the program agenda, the program outline. Arrival registration starts on Thursday. And just to speak more on registration, we have this year's edition, we added an app.
Okay.
So we have a KBF app, Kwahu Business Forum app, where you can go on there to register. We also have an interesting feature, which is matchmaking. So matchmaking gives you the opportunity to see the people in attendance. So you're able to connect and make, connect and also meet the right people.
Right.
Yes, it makes it very seamless, smart. Yes. So you're able to see if tomorrow you're attending and I want to meet you at the event, I'm able to see your details on there and I'm able to connect with you and set up a meeting prior to the event. So before I even get there, I know the right people that I'm meeting. And we did this especially for SMEs because we need them to know the kind of people that are attending so they can tap into the right funding available to them.
Well, I think it's perhaps it's important for you to emphasize that when we talk about connecting people, connecting to the right people, people don't misinterpret that to mean that they're going to look for partners. Well, it's not about partners, it's business partners.
Business partners.
But so that the social benefits may just be an added on, it's just a byproduct. But the main product is for you to partner somebody to do business.
Yes.
And I'll tell you why,
no, it's very important.
I'll go find some wife for us for Kwahu Business Forum. So let me go and register.
The Kwahu entertainment part will still run.
Okay. Oh, the entertainment part
will still run.
Normal,
In fact, as part of Kwahu Business Forum, we have opportunity for people to join buses to go on nightlife in Kwahu or Kwahu by night talks.
Oh,
so
really?
they go and talk. We have opportunity for people to also go, sneak out and go and watch the paragliding, where people fly with the parachutes and all that. So that part is there. The entertainment part, the social part is there.
Right.
But this matchmaking is business matchmaking for the record. But this year, it's not only the president coming. You see, the Thursday, as she rightly said, registration. Friday morning, we go into opening of the forum, official ceremony, tour of the exhibition, various booths, then the official programming of speeches by various speakers from government, from business will speak. Then we will have a special panel discussion where the captains of industry, as we know them, the cool businessmen, the top, some of them have been selected to have a panel discussion about how their businesses kicked off, what they see as opportunities now for the youth to take advantage of and run.
Right.
And this very important discussion of passing on the baton to the next generation will be done in Chi.
Okay.
After the English programming, we will break and return into the main auditorium for this important discussion.
But is this feature a new one, or even last year?
New
This is
one.
new.
This is new one.
Okay, that's interesting.
This is part of the new ones.
Okay, but why?
You see,
What's the idea?
The cool businessmen have established themselves, as you know, the cool businessmen are, cool guys are business people.
Yeah. And they're proud of their language. They're proud of their language.
And there's a need to pass on the baton to the next generation. And it must be done well. What they see as opportunities around, they must be able to open up to some of the young people who want to take it and run with it. So it's a critical conversation we must have. Because we cannot continue to have them for the rest of our life. They must face off.
So I think the question that ought to be answered at the forum would be, what is a succession plan?
We will get there.
I think that's what that forum is seeking.
Yes.
That's the answer is seeking.
It seems they are planning to become a moderator. After that important discussion, we will have an evening dinner with the president.
Okay.
After we've gone into master classes, various master classes to teach, to have discussions, roundtable discussions and all that on different topics. So people will choose as to which master class or which booth they will enter for which master class, and to see who and to talk to who. It's spread. Matters on finance, matters of business, matters of scaling up, all will be discussed at different booths.
Okay.
So you look, when you come to the program, you know which of the master classes that you choose to attend. And they are happening concurrently.
Wow.
In the evening, we will have a sitting with the president, a dinner with the president in the evening. Then that will be a wrap. The next morning, the president will tour the exhibition site. We will enter into the dome again for speeches and break, and then return for another edition of panel discussion.
Okay.
Then the governor will join us in the evening for a sitting.
Okay.
To discuss issues of the economy. Businessmen need to know how the economy will fare to the end of the year so that they can plan. If they
certainty,
predictability,
right?
So they need that assurance. So we'll sit down to have that.
Okay.
The next morning we will have a health walk.
Okay.
And we do what we call 1,000 steps.
Now, speaking about the predictability of the economy, isn't the finance minister?
The governor, the finance minister is being invited. The governor has confirmed coming, and the governor has been arranged to come and deliver as to how your dollar and city relationship will fare. And that's monetary policy, so that belongs to the governor. And then the next morning we have a health walk. So all the businesses that are coming, people should come with their trainers. You have a health walk. We do 1,000 steps at the Co-Business Forum Center. The village, there's a hill that there's 1,000 steps to take to the hill. Tomorrow, if you come, you have to do that. You have to keep fit. And then after that, we have refreshment, and then the leadership of banks, the bank CEOs and their top executives, will have a 2-hour sitting with the governor of the Bank of Ghana. Closed doors. In the VIP tent. To have an informal discussion. The banks and the central bank.
This is in camera.
In camera.
In camera conversations.
Yes. On the way forward.
That's interesting. This quite clearly, this forum has been well thought out. I mean, it's a full package. So somebody's watching this morning and perhaps is still not sure whether to be a part of this. Why? I mean, would you want to convince the person who's watching us now why they have to be a part of this forum? Why should I attend?
So if you're looking to grow your business, if you're looking to meet the right pool of people, if you're looking to connect with the right people, this platform or this forum is the best place to be. And the interesting thing is the value is in the connection
right.
and the exposure.
Right.
Or even if you're just looking to get inspired, this is a place to be. So your viewers watching me from home, I'd entreat that you all attend this event.
Right.
And you won't regret it.
I like this. I mean, if you're looking for an opportunity, if you're looking for a platform that inspires you to want to do greater things, there's the Kwahu Business Forum. Exactly. That's wonderful. So, I mean, what would be your parting remarks for this upcoming event? First of all, how has the registration been like? I mean, the expression of interest. What numbers are we working with now? Because people don't want a situation where they would want to apply to be there and then they're told the place is full.
The app
how much time do people have?
The app, we allot the seats on the app as and when. Okay. You know, even as of yesterday, we're trying to close it.
Right.
Because we close it a bit, and we open a bit, and we close it again. Because we don't want the auditorium especially to be overcrowded.
Right.
The auditorium takes 1,000 seats. It's a 1,000-seater capacity. And we don't want it to be, because the president is there, security issues and all that, so we don't want it to be overcrowded. But the exhibition will run, for the entire 3-day period. And so people are free to walk in and then come to the exhibition where they can interact with all the companies that are exhibiting. It is the auditorium where the president will be and the governor will be that we are managing the seating for now. But for the visit to the village and to familiarize yourself with the companies and have an interaction, pick somebody's complimentary card, and that may be your opportunity to set up your business.
So do I get that's my final question to you. Samira, do I get the impression that if I'm not somebody who's interested in doing business, this is not a forum for me? Forget about it, just sit at home.
I rightly mentioned in my earlier submission, if you're looking to get inspired, and the exposure, I believe exposure goes a long way to help us in our business development, or even our personal development.
Right.
So if you're not looking to doing business or participating in the trade exhibitions, the connections that you would make will go a long way to also put you on another pedestal.
Right. Okay. All right. So I guess that I think you've made a case why people must participate. But again, how much time do people have? It means that if you're interested, you've got to apply now or register now, isn't it?
If you go on the app and you're not able to register because the registration is closed. Because we try to bring in 200 seats as of yesterday, in addition to the 1,000. So we are filling in, and if that gets finished, maybe by the end of today, we are sorry, you cannot enter the auditorium, but it can be, because those who enter the auditorium will be accredited. You have your seat number and all that. When you go through, you get a text message on your phone telling your details. So if you are not able to enter the auditorium, it doesn't mean you cannot be at the village. You can be at the village, you can tour the various centers, but you cannot be able to enter the auditorium and also perhaps not enter a master class. Yes.
All right, so let me thank you very much. Samuel Aladi Glau, right? You are a team member of the Kwahu Business Forum organizers. I want to thank you very much for your time. And also Benjamin Suman, who is also a team member of the Kwahu Business Forum. We call it KBF. That's we can only wish you well. We'll be there.
Thank you so much.
Yes, to give you all the moral support. And yes, I will be there because I want to climb that mountain.
Not for matchmaking.
For business matchmaking.
That's right.
But you just told me that there's a fun part of this forum.
Yes.
So it's not going to be
you do the paragliding.
But that's important. It's very important.
Right.
See. It's not going to be all work and no play.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Moro.
All right, so Ben and Samira, thank you
so much
for joining us.
Yes, have a wonderful day.
Likewise.
And wish you the best of luck.
All right.
Then. So you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Please, let's be at the Kwahu Business Forum. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. It's a productive forum. Yes, it's not just the fun part. Forget about all the things we're saying. It's about your future. That's the thing. Kwahu Business Forum is about your future. We are talking about your economic future. Anyway, so stay with us. You're watching the show. Please.
This is a chance of a lifetime. My opportunity. Your opportunity. Let's build Ghana together.
Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kelkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush.
Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger.
Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits, happy smile.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
Hey buddy, it's me Azar.
Yeah, me now they see. Hey, you look fresh.
Hey.
With your label today.
Wait till you see what's inside me.
Azar, freshly made inside and out for greater coverage and colors that last longer and beautify your walls, spaces and places. Azar, no size. Go ahead. Buy now. Azar, #1 from Azar Group since 1921.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Mekwaya ma besisia. Abozing. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eddie, Dabio, baby womb. Ready? Hey, baby womb. Ah, Eddie. I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Sorry, well, uncle, where would I die? Why your funeral?
Say a sorry insecticide GB at a user. Co pharmacy in a shop biam. Na mum say a pharmacy supermarket and a shop ra. Na repedudu to a cotonwa. On for Royal Dutch and our Aerofield Trading. Efi spray with daimwa. Chansima a dronu. Ansana a radine. Inkratui FDA ajatum.
Jesus Christ loves you, and greater love hath no man. Because of his love, he opens the way. He opens eyes, ears, and minds. Open your heart and experience General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and feel his love. Greater love.
Bunty, why you there? One lie, tell her today will give me my money.
Oh, my guy, what's up? Oba unze me din na dede baby. Scano ASA 500 cedis per.
I see. Level don't change. But you show me the way.
But there's some sorry Amanua. Talk to babe.
¿Quieres ganar dinero?
Huh?
Cash.
Yes, cash.
Let me show you the easy way to make money with one chat.
Visit the Wanna Own website at wannaown.us. Sign up with your phone number and get ready to play. Select games on the homepage and then select one-shot game. Deposit to make an entry, then pick a number from 0 to 99. If your number comes up, you win a cool 500 cedis.
Hey, so it'll be easy like that.
Just like that.
So I'll go fit buy my dream car.
Por supuesto. Just visit wannaown.us and win some cool cash prizes.
It's Bemi.
Boom!
You be too much.
Play responsibly. Gaming can be addictive. Accredited and endorsed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
When nations rise, it begins with bold conversations. When economies grow, it is driven by partnership. This April, Ghana's business and policy leaders converge at the Kwahu Business Forum 2026, the nation's premier platform for investment, enterprise, and economic transformation, with special guest of honor, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, joining captains of industry, financial institutions, investors, and entrepreneurs.
The Kwahu Business Forum is more than just an event. It is a call to action. And so let us work together to build a Ghana that is competitive, productive, and inclusive, and a Ghana that creates opportunities for all.
Come, let's engage in high-level dialogue, explore industry exhibitions, build powerful networks, and unlock real opportunities from finance and insurance to manufacturing, agribusiness, SMEs, and innovation. This is where it all happens. From the 3rd to the 5th of April 2026 at the Kwahu Convention Center in Praeso Hills. Go to www.kwahubusinessforum.com and register now. To register for exhibitions, call 059 555 5885 or 059 555 5995. Kwahu Business Forum. Connect, promote, grow.
You're watching Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. This show is also live on 94.1 FM. This is the platforms that Ghana watches and monitors and listens to. Now listening here because we are also on radio, which is 94.1 FM. Just in case you can't watch us on TV, you can tune in to 94.1 FM and tell a friend that we're now, but we've been on radio for a while now, possibly 6, 7, 8 months thereabouts. Yes, because we listen to you. You kept appealing to us that you want more of us, and unfortunately you're unable to watch us depending on how your movements for the day is. We said, okay, so we're giving you a radio station, which is 94.1 FM. So here we go. So it's now time for the newspaper review segment. And what we've been trying to do, as you have observed in the last few weeks, is that we've been trying to bring people who are not typically hardcore party people. They may they may have philosophies that may align to the political parties. That doesn't make them card-bearing members of those political parties, whether socialist, left, what do you call it, left of center or right of center, you know. And so we have introduced that statement because we recognize that there's space for them to, as far as having conversations about this country and its forward march is concerned. And so that's exactly what we do on Mondays. It's not going to be, it's a from time to time kind of thing, you know. So, or let me say occasionally. So joining us this morning is a man whom this is not an entirely new, he's not an unknown quantity. We know him. He's been at the forefront of activism in this country. He is, let me be a bit more formal in introducing him. The man is called Oliver Barker-Vormawor. Oliver Barker-Vormawor is a constitutional rights and policy strategy advisor at the Democracy Hub. And he is also a governance advisor with significant law and policy expertise in various African countries, including the United States, and also his work within the UN system. He is also the lead convener and co-founder of the Fix the Country movement, and also the convener of the Democracy Hub. He's joined us this morning for a conversation about Ghana. He will always tell us about Ghana. For him, it doesn't matter who socks is God. It's about fixing this country. Oliver, good to see you. Good morning.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, and I hope you're doing very well.
No complaints, a day at a time.
Yes, yes, yes. He's a very busy man.
I beg you.
Yes, a very busy man. And to get him on the show this morning, my producer tells me that he had to be on his case for a very long time. But finally, he's here. That's the most important thing. Anyway, so good to see you once again, bro.
Charlie, I'm happy to be back.
Some joints I've been seeing him, but I don't have his permission to mention those joints for security reasons. That one between the two of us. Also with us this morning is Dr. Zato. Now, Dr. Zato, he's been here. This is about your third time on the show, isn't it? Second time on the show, yes. Now, Dr. Dant, I want to make sure I get the pronunciation of his surname correctly. It's Jebuntie.
My last name is Zato.
Yes.
Middle name is Jebuntie.
Joshua Jebuntie.
Zato.
Yes. He's a senior lecturer as a policy analyst, University of Ghana. He's also a senior fellow of APL. That's Africa Policy Lens, isn't
yes,
it?
please.
Yeah. Good to see you guys this morning.
Thank you, man. Good to see
you.
All
right, so quite a number of issues to talk about. Yesterday there was a major and a very disastrous event, killing 2 people, and a number of people were actually under some kind of intensive care as we speak. They at some hospital, and I know hospital, we're not sure which hospital it is, but perhaps we'll have to get some details on that. Well, I want us to start with that first. I'll have to read what the papers have been reporting on that, and then I'll be finding out from Oliver what business he had walking the corridors of the United Nations building, and whether he's happy now that he's back home with everything that's happened there. But that's another conversation. That's our second conversation. But before I get there, let me just say that Kwahu, this year, Kwahu Easter celebration will be perpetuous with Kivo pepper. So step into the Kivo village at Obome Market and enjoy correct pepper soup with Kivo pepper any time of the day. A special appearance at the Kivo village is the Metro TV Jollof Festival. Live cooking, food tasting, and non-stop entertainment. Remember to join us daily for your Kivo pepper soup and Kivo pepper rice to be served at the Kivo village at the Obome Market all day or night. Kivo pepper is happening from April 2nd to the 6th, so don't miss it. Kivo village, taste the heat, live the moment. Kwahu. So yes, let's all be there and enjoy some Kivo pepper soup. Tastes nice, doesn't it? All right, so gentlemen, I want us to look at this very unfortunate incident that happened yesterday, and we've lost some lives, and we never want that to happen again. Now, the story is on page 6 of today's daily guide. Now, we're told that over 30 trapped in Newtown building collapse. The story is by one Prince Fifi York. He says that chaos and fear gripped Accra Newtown yesterday when an uncompleted 3-story building on the compound of the Accra Newtown DA School near the Ghana Commercial Bank collapsed around 1 p.m. and trapping over 30 worshippers beneath the debris. At the time of filing this report, rescuers had pulled 70 people alive from the wreckage, and they were receiving emergency treatment at the nearby health facilities. However, many more were believed to remain trapped, raising fears of a growing death toll. The building, left unfinished since 2012, was originally constructed to accommodate the overflow of students at the Accra Newtown Experimental DA School. Now, eyewitnesses said the ground floor had been converted into a makeshift church where worshippers gathered for services when the collapse occurred. People are still under the building, and as a country, we don't have equipment that can quickly rescue them. They have been under the debris for hours, said one witness, describing the panic that ensued after the collapse. Rescue teams from the Ghana National Fire Service, Ghana National Headquarters, and police were immediately deployed, securing the site and beginning painstaking search operations to free those trapped. The tragedy, has reignited concerns about building safety, regulatory oversight, and the dangers posed by uncompleted structures in densely populated areas. Now, the residents and relatives of the trapped victims were anxiously watching the rescue efforts, hoping for more survivors as the search continued in the evening. Let me start with you, Oliver. I'm sure that it's not an entirely new development in Ghana, isn't it? There's nothing new in this country. What do you make of this?
First of all, I express sympathies with those who are in this unfortunate situation. My understanding is that this has been updated to 3 people dead and 20 that are in serious condition. And there's no exact toll or number we know of people who are trapped in the building to this point. I'm a bit disheartened as well to learn that this is a construction that was made to accommodate overflow of students from the experimental school, which then begs the question whether or not this is a public project rather than a private enterprise. And if it's a public project, then it's all the more concerning.
A lot of these experimental schools are public schools.
They're public schools.
Yeah.
So more likely somebody would have been given the contract to do this, and then this was, since it's uncompleted, perhaps
from 2012.
Abandoned then since then. We saw this happen as well. I remember when the Malcolm incident happened. My understanding that there's supposed to be some prosecutions. I don't know whether, I have no news since then as to whether or not prosecutions did in fact go forward. But it is, I mean, the only thing that I can ensure, accountability, can ensure that we reduce these incidences. I say reduce because you cannot completely eliminate these instances. Is the enforcement of building codes, the enforcement of ensuring that there's proper oversight from every point, everybody that's supposed to be involved. It's a public project that means that this was procured in a particular way, that there was supposed to be people then who are vetting in terms of how this thing is constructed. Because if it's a proper building standing on its own, there's not been any tremor or anything like that external to it that has caused this, then it means that something was not done right in terms of how the building was constructed. Whether it was disproportionate, whether it's building materials, we have to be able to understand what went down and people held accountable. But yeah, our hope is that these things do not continue to repeat themselves, that we have a certain respect for human lives, and particularly now that this is supposed to be a school structure. That this is supposed to be a school structure, that we are even more thorough in our investigation and holding people to account for this, because even looking at the building, in many ways, this should have been decommissioned. Exactly. It has not been used for so long. To then to subject worshippers to this, I do hope that we get more answers going forward in terms of this, but this is unacceptable.
Yeah. And as we speak, there are many of these buildings dotted everywhere.
No, we see them all over the city in many respects. And the question even for me is whose responsibility it is when you have these kinds of situations that have become health hazard in terms of whether they are removed, decommissioned, and how they are planned explosions of them. Whose responsibility is it? Is it at the assembly level? I know that NADMO only comes in when there's a disaster. So who has the responsibility for abandoned buildings to do something about them? That's something that I'm also quite interested in what we do in that regard.
And that's why I have a difficulty with this National Disaster Management organization. There must be preventive part of their mandate, because as you rightly said, NADMO should be looking out for some of these buildings and, like you said, decommissioning them if you can't decommission them, this look, just you either fix it, or I mean, it basically has to be a decision made.
There are many countries. In fact, you're correct. There are many countries in the world where, when something like this happens, those who are in charge of the building, those who own the land, continue to get repeated fines to do something about it, which isn't the case. It doesn't even appear that we can even catalog these kinds of buildings across the country and say, what are we doing about them? Let me harken back to the census. The census figures that we had last time was saying that I think about 2/3 of Ghanaians live in uncompleted structures across the country. So it means that it's a huge national problem in terms of this. The vast majority of them, of course, are not public buildings. They are private buildings. That does not absorb responsibility in ensuring that what is being done about them and ensuring that people don't expose their lives to these kinds of things that provide problems for the state. But where there's a public funding involved and where the public has entrapped people and kept them in this situation, I think that the obligation is even higher.
But Doc, what's wrong with us? I mean, people get up, they find some space somewhere, they go gather there, and they say they are worshiping. I mean,
good morning to you and good morning to Oliver. This is the first time we are meeting in person. It's really my pleasure to meet you.
Appreciate it.
Look, accountability matters. But it seems in this country, we only talk accountability when it has to do with politicians.
Right.
So that becomes the kind of visible accountability. That becomes, I've used this word sexy. That becomes a thing that, oh, this politician had done this, then let's go ahead, let's crucify him. That is when she has dig into our ideological bona fides and then try to take the person home. But when the issue of accountability moves away from politicians, we are quick to move to the next story. Because when I woke up and I was seeing video, the only video I've seen about this thing was about the former interior minister being prevented from going to reside. And right there, that became the politics. That became the trending story. In fact, so much so that if you don't take time, you will even forget that they were pulling people out. They were risking their lives to school. The story became the fact that because of partisanship or whatever, a former interior minister, who was a former MP for that place, was being prevented. And that's what I talked about. So people are quick to move to that place, to move to the politics and ignore distance. So now when we talk about accountability in terms of this, we lump the word accountability. So what is accountability then? And because you lump it together, it becomes difficult to know what it is. The literature can talk about 4 different types of accountability. You can talk about political accountability, professional accountability, legal accountability, and hierarchical accountability.
Right.
I want us to focus on professional and hierarchical.
Right.
This job here is not about political accountability per se. It can be about professional accountability. You define professional accountability, therefore, as the kind of accountability that's associated with your professional training. You are a lawyer. You should know what to do and not to do without anybody coming to tell you what to do. You understand the case? You are a medical doctor.
Right.
You were trained to bring relief and aid to anybody that is suffering disease, which can and should hold you accountable for that training.
Right.
So because you are an engineer, even if there are people not there, I'm not an engineer, I've never started an engineering club, but I can see that there's something fundamental wrong with this building. If you look at the columns, are they called columns? And then you look at the amount of weight on it.
Right.
Something tells you that it can give up because they don't look strong enough to hold that structure up. That's just by looking at it. So which engineer designed it? Where did he get his certificate from?
Yeah.
And why is he still an engineer? So those are professional questions.
Right.
Now the question is, see, when it comes to such disasters like that, it becomes difficult to, if this was a lawyer, for instance, the general legal counsel would probably be summoning that lawyer to answer some questions. If it was a Ghana, if it was a doctor or a nurse, the Ghana Medical Association or somebody would have been summoning that person for this. But who is going to summon this engineer to ask questions?
Right.
Who is going to say, engineer ABCD or engineering firm ABC designed this building, that's a disaster. Make it public so that tomorrow, if I want to build something, I don't go to them. Who is going to do that?
True.
And that's what so that's first the professional accountability I'm talking about.
Right.
Somebody approved this permit. That is a professional job. I don't think the person took the permit when he spoke to this district chief executive or municipal chief executive, say, hey, should I approve this? No, that's not his work, right?
True.
So that is what I'm saying. It's not a political issue. It now becomes a professional issue. Which engineer in that assembly approved this building permit? We need to also know.
Yeah.
And then thirdly, another professional thing. I don't look. You are a pastor. You take people to go and worship here.
Yeah.
Did you ever stand to think about their safety? Did you ever say that, look, with all the drumming and the dancing and the stamping and the hallelujah and the amens, did you ever stand to think about that their safety might be at risk? And if you did, what did you do? If you didn't, you're being negligent. And those are the issues. Those people, this pastor, this man of God also needs to ask some fundamental questions. And this is where I don't believe that, because I think there was once a GES directive that churches shouldn't hold churches in classrooms.
Right.
I don't know whether it has been relieved. It's not even a classroom. So I think this is where we can then come back to say that don't hold churches in uncompleted buildings. If you issue that directive, it becomes difficult in Ghana because almost every church starts building a church. It takes them so many years to finish. So there were people in uncompleted buildings. But I think that we can then talk about different types of uncompleted buildings. Because another issue we have in Ghana sometimes is that we try to use one size fits all solution for everything.
True.
It's different if you are Oliver is a pastor, he's building his own church, people are working there. Because it belongs to him, they can do a good assessment of the structural integrity before they can work there. You understand? It's different if you just see any structural building, you go and listen, maybe pay something to worship there. At the end of the day, we should take public safety important. NADMO is there today, risking their lives to rescue them. Did the NADMO officials see this building? I'm sure the NADMO there is probably from the district assembly there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Did they see this building? Did somebody flag the building? Is there a report where we can say, we flagged this building, we told this pastor, don't worship here, don't do it?
Right.
So that is what we are talking about. Secondly, and you come visit the fire service and the police says, look, this is your job too. You were there risking your lives. Before you were risking your life, did you see this building? Were you able to write to them and say, listen, from a professional perspective, we as a Ghana National Fire Service, we think that this building should not be hosting you. That's what I'm talking about, professional accountability.
Right.
Unless and until we are able to do that, unless and until we are able to hold professionals accountable, we are always going to engage this blame shifting activity, knowing very well that when something happens like this, the Interior Minister had to rush there.
Yeah.
In fact, unfortunately, the one who handed over to him was also there. Yeah. So all of a sudden, the headlines go there, and then before it's buried. We shouldn't wait. If you are a NADMO official, if you are a Ghana Fire Service official, if you are a rescue person, you should be the one in front, or you should be the one ahead of leading this safety so that it doesn't become a curative thing, it becomes a preventive thing.
Right. You know, when you have a democracy that does not punish, negligence, or does not punish dereliction of duty, we'll continue to have these problems. That's the problem that we have.
In another regime,
because you see, as Oliver said, it's not the first time he mentions Malcolm. I can give you a list or a litany of other examples of similar incidents that have happened in the past. Question has always been, what has become of them? We commissioned, how do you call it? We set up committees or commissions or whatever to look into the matter. Sometimes we're lucky to learn of the outcome of the work of the commission. Sometimes we don't even get to know at all. But beyond the committees or commissions that have been set up to look at some of these things, and the outcome of the work of the committee, what then happens next?
Can the state, for instance, sue this church? Can the victims sue the church?
We'll leave that in the
owner of the building. You see, sometimes saying, if we live it in the political arena, then it becomes the normal football. There are no consequences.
Yes.
Because why am I saying there are no consequences? Politicians will be politicians. They want votes, they want people. The last thing politicians want to be seen is to be fighting against a church.
Yes.
Then it becomes all Fama Nyame, Holy Ghost, and everything is gone. But can we sue? Can they sue this church? Can the families of this person sue the pastor?
Yeah.
For negligence or whatever it is? Can they sue the owner of the building? Sometimes I believe that these lawsuits, because it then involves a lot, even if at the end of the day you don't win, whosoever it is, you are going to spend a lot of money hiring a lawyer, going to court. That alone may fall under what I'm now talking about, the professional accountability. Next time, you wouldn't lead people into a building whose structural integrity is questionable.
But once we go through the legal route, arrest people.
To be honest, in fact, my biggest concern is GES. Because you did talk about that directive about classrooms and people not using them for worship.
Yes.
This is a huge...
it's everywhere.
It's a huge issue that exposes GES. Because so many people can bring actions against GES, and invariably the state, because there's so many of these instances across board. Buildings where their structural integrity is not, it's not up to par, and where people have been exposed to all kinds of things. For which reason, GES is extending its liability by allowing people to come into these spaces and to continue to worship. If it's a school, then it means that the school has oversight over it. Nobody can say that this church has been worshiping there for so long. Nobody knew about it happening. This is something that has to be dealt with at that level. And that if we are very serious about GES not allowing people to come into their classrooms to worship, it's something we must enforce across board, I believe. The truth is that, yes, people can be sued. And in fact, engineers who are involved in this can be held accountable and should be held accountable for this. A lot of the times, and that's the tragedy of being killed by a poor man. We say, law say a person of straw, which is that if you go and sue a person of straw who has nothing to compensate for you, then you walk away with nothing. But the truth of what is remedial going forward is not even on. You have to look at the institutional level, institutional accountability, the schools, the engineers that were involved in this, those who gave permits, those who were supposed to oversight and did not oversight. There's a whole range of people that it cuts across. But most importantly, I don't think you could have said it any perfectly. That if you have a democracy that doesn't punish the relation of duty, you continue to have these kinds of things.
Anyway. Well, look, the issue, look, it may be so. It may be that if you punish somebody with a straw, that's why I say sue somebody with a straw, right? Yes, but that could set a precedent. Yeah. Because if you do that and if it doesn't pay, and then there's a ruling that holds, let's say, a pastor accountable, or somebody accountable for worshiping in a place that a building that's not this, then that may deter and prevent future loss of lives. So even though maybe in the instance you may not be able to get anything, but I believe that it helps to improve maybe our jurisprudence or whatever it is. Yeah. Make sure that going forward, then pastors that may not be, let me say, poor, will now begin to think about liabilities and prevent that. Because it has to start somewhere. And if we leave that constantly in the hands of policymakers and politicians, we will always be doing this merry-round over, we'll come back to it. Yeah. We have to start somewhere punishing individuals and holding accountable, then this will stop.
All right, so Reverend Joseph Lati, who is a regular viewer of the show, he from time to time, he would express his opinion on the matters and the discussion all the way from the UK. He's a lawyer himself, but he's also a minister of God. He says the rule of law is not functioning effectively in Ghana. How have we allowed churches polluting noise in residential areas? That's a big matter. This one too says that I stayed at the scene until about 1 a.m. yesterday. So this one is from Vanessa Odotom. She's a reporter here at Metro Television. She said, I stayed at the scene until about 1 a.m. yesterday. Residents told me that the headmaster of the experimental school had earlier directed the church to stop holding services on the premises. However, it is alleged that the church sought clearance from a higher authority and obtained a permit to continue operations. Hey, Ghana. He says, I was also informed that the school building had already been flagged by engineers as unfit for use and had been earmarked for demolition, with plans reportedly in place before the incident occurred. This was from 2012. If you want to demolish, it's demolished from 2012. It's more than 10 years, almost 12 years. From 2012 makes it about 14 years. You would, procrastination. This part of town. Oh, yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is that I can see, but let's put it. But it's good that if this were there, if it's true, that's why we are now saying that let's put something in jail to force them. Because if all these things are true, that they don't use it, all this, who. We see, we like to say big man in Ghana. And so now it's a phrase we use so that we ourselves would escape accountability. Oh, I don't want to do this because a big man. Who is a big man? And they will never tell us the big man. So it becomes a powerful tool used. But tell us who the big man is. Tell us who signed it.
Because the big man will deny.
Exactly. So don't do it. So show us who did it. It's important. It's important that, look, again, we are going to continue doing it. Sometimes very, very innocent people. All this like innocent are always going to suffer. And this church is going, next week, the church is going to move to another uncompleted building and continue business as usual. Do big funerals for these people, collect a lot of collections, collect a lot of money, and then business just goes on.
Okay. All right. Oliver, recently there was some lobbying for the change of expressing your welcome at the Kotoka International Airport to now sound, what's it the Ga term?
Obake.
Obake. So I say Obake. Yes, welcome back from New York.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it.
And I wasn't surprised you were there, but some of your friends and your critics on social media were surprised that you were there, and they were wondering, what the hell? Sorry for this. Sorry about that.
Your French is pardoned. Your French is pardoned.
What is this young man doing in New York? What is he there? Has he been co-opted by the government of the day, and that's why he's become less critical of the NDC government? I mean, so the question, what is he doing there? You know, so you had to take the lives of your very good friend Justice Sai to go on social media to explain and to give context and to tell people what they didn't know about you. You know, and so this is the usual politics as usual. You're there in your professional capacity to support Ghana, because you can't be criticizing Ghana and not want to offer services to Ghana. And so that's what Justice Sai was. And it has to do with the whole reparative or reparation agenda or project. Fortunately, we have made some headway. It's just the beginning, as you've said. And of course, the foreign minister and the president himself has said, it's a good start. But as we all can also agree, there's still a lot more work to do. And it's the fact that the United Nations General Assembly overwhelmingly backed that resolution that declared the transatlantic slave trade the gravest crime against humanity. The UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres himself, that the wealth of many Western nations was built on stolen lives and also stolen labor. He thinks that the act was barbaric, and it's a barbaric punishment that maintained control from shackles and iron collars to flogging and sexual violence, and this was simply forced labor. Now, we had as many as 123 votes to 3, while 52 countries abstained, including the United Kingdom and EU member states. And I'm talking about the resolution that was adopted. But I see a number of themes emerging post or on the back of what had happened in the United Nations. I'm sure you've been monitoring that as well. Let me start from your level. What do you think that the conversation hasn't accurately captured that you would want us to know? But before you do that, let me just say that today's Insight has a very interesting story. It says that Russia offers to help Africa to quantify slavery reparations claims. Now, Russia has expressed readiness to support African countries in calculating the total amount of reparations that Western nations could pay for crimes committed during the colonial period. The position was outlined on Wednesday, March 2026 by one Irina Abramova, who is the director of the Institute of African Studies of the Russian Academy of Sciences, during a press conference on the theme. The responsibility of Western metropolis for the consequence of colonization, history, and modernity, according to the African Initiative Media Agency. Her remarks come in the wake of growing global, the story continues here, the global sanctions regimes as evidence of what is called a breakdown in international legality and morality. The statement particularly condemned, sorry about that. So growing global momentum for reparative justice following the backing of 123 nations for a motion at the United Nations to recognize the transatlantic slave trade as a grievous crime committed against humanity. The motion was tabled at the UN General Assembly by President John Dramani Mahama. Madam Abramova explained that Russia intends to collaborate with African experts to build a strong evidence-based case for reparations using modern analytical tools. We aim to unite the efforts of Russian scholars, mathematicians, programmers, historians, and economists with African researchers in order to jointly substantiate the scale of these operations and move forward with legal claims on various international platforms. She stressed that African countries must accurately quantify the damage caused by colonialism to strengthen their claims for compensation, noting that this would involve modern scientific methods alongside extensive colonial-era archives preserved across the continent. And I say that I've seen a number of themes emerging. First of all, when we talk about a grievous crime against humanity, by whose assertion? And why must we describe it as such? Is this the gravest in the first place? Number two, our expectations in terms of what the perpetrators must do for us, which is talk about a reparative justice. It's for some people, it's a pipe dream. It's never going to happen. We're wasting our time. At best, we can have this conversation. People can acknowledge we did something wrong in the past and so on. There's a more fundamental question which perhaps has not found sufficient expression in the conversation, which has to do with why must the current generation of today, okay, be carrying the cross of what their forebears did? They were not there. They, at the very least, they've read about it and so on and so forth. Why must they today do something for those of us who are living today? And why must it even be Africa?
Yeah.
When in any case, some of our own people were neck deep in betraying, quote unquote, our own people. If anybody is going to be a beneficiary of this, it's going to be the people from the Caribbeans, but not us. We don't deserve it, So I can go on and on and on and talk about some of the themes that I have observed based on the conversations that are being had around within the public space. What do you think we're not getting right as far as this matter is concerned? But before you move there, because there are three things I wanted to address. The first one, what we're doing in the United Nations, what we're doing in New York. Two, what have you observed as being what I call a lacuna, or perhaps what you think has been missing in the conversation? And then number three, Russia's help that it intends to extend to us, what you make of it. So these are the three key issues that I wanted to attend. I can bring to Doc in.
Thanks again for this. I mean, I was happy to be back in New York. For those who are not aware, in fact, the last time I left the US, I left after resigning from the UN in 2021. And so, I was back to see colleagues again. I was back to be working those halls again. I was in the Office of Legal Affairs at the UN. And I was happy to be back. And I was happy also to be there on something which is particularly historic. There's no denying that moving this resolution forward and the conversation that it has engendered and will continue to engender will be for generations to come. And so I'm grateful that I was invited to learn expertise on this subject, a subject I've been working on for many years, even during my time at the International Court of Justice with former Caribbean judge from Jamaica, Judge Robinson, who was also at the International Court of Justice, and my own judge, the vice president of the court and later president, Judge Yusuf. We have been involved at the international level on these conversations around reparations. And so when asked if I wanted to be part of this, I said absolutely.
Okay.
It seems like one's life's work being acknowledged in some regard. Now, to be in New York was in itself also surreal. I was there before the vote on the General Assembly floor, the day before we had the high-level panel, and which the president addressed. We had Al Sharpton, who spoke as well, Ben Crump, and various intellectual leaders in the U.S. who offered support to the event. In the morning of that, there was the wreath laying at the African Burial Grounds with Mayor Mamdani as well, who joined the team. Now, the two things that I took away from that, one was after the high-level panel was done, because even at that time, we were still very uncertain of the votes that were going to come down. And one of the highest officials who had been with the Secretary General, after witnessing what had happened the day before, said that, you know what, there's no way states are not going to back this. It was so powerful. The kind of messaging that was sent, the things that were sent, the president's own speech that was read there, the interplay of humor, the weightiness of the conversation, the recognition of our role and our responsibility towards our ancestors, all of it was just hitting all the right notes.
Okay.
That all of us left there reinvigorated about what the process was going to look like and how we do this. So I'm happy to have been invited to lend support to the process. I hope that my own writing on this, commentary on this, has also provided insights to people who little understood the significance of what this conversation is about. Now, what have we brought forward? Before this, I was in Addis. Surprisingly, that did not make the news when we were trying to rally the African Union to back this resolution. I was in Addis as well with the team to get the African Union. We got the African Union's endorsement to move this forward to the UN.
So it means there's been a lot of behind the scenes.
There has been a lot of work to get here. Wow. I mean, and perhaps this is, and maybe we'll come to the lacuna in a bit conversation, is that we haven't done enough to carry people along.
Yeah.
And we'll get there in some regard. But yes, there has been a lot of work. There's been a lot of lobbying. We've seen the foreign minister travel to so many countries to be able to get people to buy in the last minute. We know that the Brazilian delegation in New York was a bit uncertain as to whether they were going to join us in the vote, which was critical because Brazil hosts the largest number of black people in the Southern Hemisphere. That we saw the foreign minister go to Colombia, meet the president of Brazil. We saw Lula himself coming out in support of the resolution that then compelled the Brazilian mission to change their vote on this. We see the amount of lobbying that Colombia did. We saw the voice of Venezuela in the conversation. So there's so many people that help carry the conversation forward. But also importantly, the CARICOM, which is the Caribbean community. They have had a Caribbean Reparations Commission for a very long time. They have developed what they call the 10-point agenda around reparations and what they should look like. They were key players in the conversation and rallying and getting the vote across the finish line, and I think they have to be commended. In all my conversation, and I think the foreign minister would attest to this, I continue to emphasize to the foreign minister that we cannot do this without the Caribbeans.
Right.
We have to work in tandem with them. We have to get them on board. We have to make sure that they're key players in the conversation. And in the ultimate analysis, they came through hugely for us. And then all reservations and concerns they had at some points were all addressed, that they felt comfortable in joining us in the ultimate vote.
What case did you make before them
now,
to convince them to come on board?
Now, this is the thing. When you see the abstentions from the European Union, there are two key defining things about this resolution. One is the recognition that this is the gravest crime against humanity.
Right.
And two, the recognition that the African jurisprudential idea that crimes do not rot, that it was a crime then and it continues to be a crime now, as against the European perspective that it was legal then, was a key challenge in this resolution going forward. And as far as the nations were concerned, particularly the Caribbeans, they were concerned whether or not we're taking this to a vote when we do not have the backing of the international community and what the blowback would be if we didn't get the votes to carry forward. In fact, the president, after this, addressed us and talked about how, before he got on the flight, he had colleague heads of state who were calling that they were not sure that the vote was going to go through and that maybe he shouldn't go and put his face on it and leave it. If the foreign minister doesn't get it done well, it doesn't affect the presidency. So even his colleague head of states were concerned that they may not be able to get the vote. It is one thing to believe in an idea generally, but it's another thing to get people to put where their mouth is and vote on it at the General Assembly, which is a big thing. Now let's come to the issue of the gravest, because this ties into some of the comments I've heard the Israeli ambassador also talk about the reason why they voted against the resolution was whether or not the question of ranking of crimes in international law.
Yes.
Let's be clear. International law has always ranked crimes. In international law, there's a concept called jus cogens. That is the umbrella of crimes against humanity and other crimes are part of this jus cogens norm, that nothing which derogates from jus cogens is valid in international law. So there's a ranking that exists already. Two, it is only for the uninitiated who confuse the issues. Crimes against humanity is a separate category in international law from genocide, which is also in its own separate category, as well as the crime of aggression, as well as war crimes. These are separate containers that all are part of jus cogens. Now, within the container of what constitutes crimes against humanity, you have murder, you have enslavement itself, you have rape. So you were saying that within this category, we are not able to come to a consensus that the transatlantic slave trade is grievous when compared to murder. We cannot be absolutely correct when we say that. Now, but one of the things that was emphasized for me, which for me was a compelling argument, is that this is also about defining a world order. When you think about how we number the years, we talk about 1940 AD or whatever that we have used the year of the Lord, as I say, as a marker of how we define the world. The conversation is that the transatlantic slave trade defined the world. It went on for 400 years. Countries changed as a result of it. New countries emerged because of the transatlantic slave trade. And that its repercussion is also the colonization of the global south. So that in terms of how world history became structured, there was the transatlantic slave trade and there was the post-transatlantic slave trade. The world that emerged out of that is not the same as the world that was before it. And so this is recognizing its place in history. Now, why should we bother as a country? It is clear to understand that we as Africans, our sense of justice is not the same as the European sense of justice. Our sense of justice is not individualized, it's communal. That when we talk and we pour libation, we continue to invoke the ancestors and their place in how we define ourselves going forward. Meaning that this is a historical debt that we ourselves owe to those who have gone before us to be able to ensure that the world recognizes their humanity as it exists. Now, on the question of reparations and the legality of it then or not, The Europeans, throughout this, have said that their red lines on this is the fact that we are saying that it was illegal then. But slavery then was not legal. There were no white people being sold as slaves. When the Irish arrived in the New World, they arrived not as slaves there. So the whites understood among themselves that slavery was a crime and a crime against humanity. What they didn't accept as to whether or not we were human as well. So it was not about whether the legality or not. It's whether or not, as far as they were concerned, whether we were human. So this is a rediscovery of the humanity of the African. That we were always human, even if you refuse to accept it. And that even in the US, it was only recently that the Dred Scott decision from the US Supreme Court that said that the blacks who were there were 3/4 of a human being. So this is whether or not they are ready themselves to accept that the fiction that they have created for themselves, that we were not human but animals, whether or not they were willing to hold on to that fiction for themselves. Sadly, at the ultimate analysis, they chose again not to vote for the resolution. They have their own reasons for that. But as far as we are concerned, we must take every opportunity to affirm to the world our enduring humanity, which we were then and continue to be today. So this is important not only for us as Ghanaians, but also for the entirety of the black world. And I'm happy that we've been able to get where we are now. Now, the lacuna in the conversation, our educational system has done us wrong. Because it has put us into a system, in a situation whereby we are willing and comfortable to accept the illogical idea that because some African merchants were involved in the transatlantic slave trade, it means that our voices for justice must somehow be tempered, or that we cannot even speak loud in this regard. It's absolutely incorrect. Even till today, when you talk about Jim Crow laws in the US and the treatment of African Americans, there are African Americans who are complicit in this. We're talking about Uncle Tom and all kinds of things that are complicit in it. It doesn't take away the cry for justice.
Right.
When you talk about the Holocaust, there were Jews that were part of the Jewish police that have been created in the Jewish ghettos, and that were part of who led Jews to extermination camps. We never say that the Holocaust must not be recognized because of it. That when it comes of slavery, even the enslavement of people itself, some of the people that were used as part of the colonial force were Africans. We have never once said that it is justified. Or our own claim as a country for independence and why we celebrate independence. Don't forget when Sergeant Ajete and Co were shot, that the colonial police force that were there, they were Africans and they were Ghanaians, or Africans, let me say, because the concept of Ghana had not yet been made, or Gold Coasters, who were in the colonial regime then, who thankfully had defied the Superintendent Imre's command for them to shoot at Sergeant Ajete and Co. Right. But they were also part of it. It doesn't mean that our claim for independence is unjust. So our inability then to be able to educate people to be able to recognize the humanity of people who are dehumanized is a mistake. Secondly, in terms of how we got here, I think a lot of people became drawn into the conversation more on the morning of the vote, when we were tweeting and talking about it before we realized that, something like this was going on. We did not do enough to carry people along for them to see this nationwide. Right. Even though there have been events here and there. Now, importantly, the other thing that is also missing from the conversation is this thinking that, because, that the role of repair is a role only for Europe. This is about reparations, about how we repair our own debt to our ancestors. And I've already talked about in the past when the Gamanche stood up and apologized for the role of his own people who have been involved in the slave trade. That is significant repair. Okay. Our announcement of the year of return policy and ensuring that people are able to get access, our preservation of the cultural artifacts that people can be able to come to, that is repair. Right. The fact that we have now what we call heritage-based citizenship, where people can trace their DNA and come to Ghana, those are things that we are doing to repair. So one of the things that the resolution talks about is the need for all states to look into their domestic system and think about what reparations would mean and what they would do in that regard to be able to ensure that they repair also for their own people, which is key. Then, the big question of the return of cultural artifacts. And this is one of the things that the resolution is strongest on, which is that there must be prompt and unhindered return of cultural artifacts that were taken from here. People going into palaces, chopping off people's head and carrying away symbolic embodiments away from the continent. We saw the same thing happen, for instance, in terms of the Sikekwa Kofi, the golden stool, where they were so bent on finding the golden stool that you saw what they did in sacking Kumasi. That we saw people who they would go in there, kill off the fetish priest, which was the embodiment of the community soul, take away the gods of the community and send them to continental Europe. These are things that the resolution is clear on. Now, at the Ashanti Palace, some British museum has returned some of the artifacts that have been sent, and they claim that they're only loaning it to us.
How?
That, and we have, and I said something when I was talking to somebody who I said that if at some point Ashanti decides to return this which belongs to Ashanti back to them on this local idea of return it, we would sue the Ashanti himself on this because it makes absolutely no sense. Yeah. So this is one of the things that the resolution is strong about. And also importantly, that has been missing in the conversation. Because reparations is being talked about, people confuse reparations with compensation, only the financial aspects of it. The resolution talks about apology, the conversation talks about memory preservation, talks about restitution, all these things. That the conversation is not only about monetizing what is at stake. And so, one of the things that I took away from in terms of the president's direction on this was that the transatlantic slave trade was already about the commercialization of African lives. We must make sure that the process about recognizing and repair is not also commercialized. And that for me it is important. And so reparations mean so many things to different people, but one of the things that Ghana emphasized most importantly was about building history and knowledge, the research that must go into it for us to understand about the cultural elements of reparations that must be done as part of all this project. And that for me was key in all of this. The resolution also requires the African Union, CARICOM, and the Caribbean, the Latin Americans to develop together frameworks of what reparative justice looks like. Whether that entails working with UNESCO to develop standard curricula around how we talk about the transatlantic slave trade, which becomes a guide for the entire world, it's important. We're seeing in America now, where curriculums are being changed and enslaved people are being referred to as workers who were brought over from Africa to come and work. Like, the whitewashing of history that we are seeing happening before our eyes is something that this project must fight against. So that's, for me, to be holistic, we must get into these conversations. Then Russia.
Yeah, Russia, yes. But before you talk about what Russia intends to do, I'll bring you in. Before you talk about what Russia intends to do, based on the newspaper publications that I've just read to you, does the abstinence or the abstention of the EU member states matter to this conversation?
Listen, this is our pain. And so our hope is that those who designed the system, those who profited from it, would come to the significant moral resolution among themselves and also recognize it. They haven't. It doesn't take away from our work and ensuring that this is carried on for so many years. The transatlantic slave trade went to war for over 400 years. And we have continued to push it today, so that tomorrow, when tomorrow's generation come, they will pick up from where we have left off and continue to push it. The project of repair, Europe's abstention would not stop us from continuing to do our own repair and how to lead the conversation and continue to keep the conversation around reparative justice on the front burner. We'll continue to do that.
Because
hopefully,
because Oliver.
Yeah.
The Europeans are the key actors.
Yes.
As far as this justice we're trying to seek is concerned. Now, if the perpetrator of this, what we collectively have described as a heinous crime, something that must never happen to anybody again, has refused to vote on a motion that must recognize that something wrong has happened. Because if I'm not ready to recognize that something untoward has happened, I will not be part. I may not be willing, or I will not be willing to be a part of how do we fix it. Do you get the point I'm making?
I completely get the point.
Yeah, but the Europeans are saying that we are not interested. Even though, for diplomatic language purposes, they won't tell you that they are not for it.
They support it in substance and the moral convictions behind it.
So I don't know how we'll be able to move forward with this posture.
This is what is key, and I want every African and every Ghanaian listening to me to take this. Their refusal to participate in a yes vote does not take away from our own efforts in bringing us where we have gotten to. It is not an indictment on us, it's an indictment on them. This is something that they will continue, and I've seen them sending out their missions across to go be explaining. And so you will explain, Taya. This is something that you will keep explaining for generations to come. And we would not let off the moral accelerator and making you understand you're wrong in this. So that is our role in this conversation. That to get them to
but
that
are you hopeful that someday?
Oh, I think absolutely.
There may be a change of mind.
I think that
they could make a U-turn.
I think that I have enduring belief that our people would not stop pressing their neck till they come to that. Not that I am trusting of the European coming to his own moral conviction and accepting our pain, but that we will not stop. So I'm more hopeful of our efforts in continuing to push this. Now, the question as to whether or not the European comes around is for them and the European publics to decide. I know that in some capitals already, people in those countries are calling out their countries for failing to come out and vote in support of this. And these are questions that they're going to continue to answer in those countries for a very long time to come. That will continue to indict them. But let's be clear on something. I remember in '62 when the vote on permanent sovereignty of countries over their own natural resources was put to the General Assembly. France voted against it. France and its imperial and colonialist policy. Today, France is being pushed back from Francophone Africa for its role. And even the Italians, the Europeans are calling out the France for their role and their destructive role in Africa. It won't stop us, is what I'm trying to say. Now, would I have loved for the entirety of the UN system to have voted for this? Absolutely. Right. But I recognize that the amount of work that our people did, I am recognizing that we would not, because then that would be centering the European, that the European must be the center of our work, and that if we don't get them to join us, then we must relent in our efforts. That's not going to happen. Now, I'm not going to even give them that pleasure.
That's fine. Now, we'll talk about the Russia bit, but I would like to bring the doctor before we come to the Russia bit. But speaking about why Europe abstained, someone has just sent me this quote by, I think it is the EU, the European Union ambassador to Ghana, one Rune Skimback.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is what he says, that we have been trying to engage constructively, also in New York, in the debate around the resolution. We have come up with a couple of suggestions. They have not been taken on board. This is fine. And I'm going to quote him. I understand the rules of the game, but what I'm saying is we did not vote against. We abstained for very clear reasons. It does not mean, however, that we do not support the moral underpinnings of the resolution. So I see the lack of consistency here, but I'll bring that up at some point. It does not mean that we don't want to engage in a forward-looking, unified approach to addressing the legacy of slavery. It does not mean that we have not addressed this legacy in the past. And then they talk about all the investment they made in Africa and so on and so. So if in one breath you're saying that I recognize that something untoward has happened, but then you're not ready to say, I'm sorry for what I did. But now come to the table and let's look at what we want to do going forward. That you abstain. Because apparently they had put some proposals before your team possibly, and you're saying that those proposals are not tenable. And so I want to find out from you, Doc, I'll bring you just briefly. You lobbied the Caribbeans. You lobbied some other groups, interest groups. Did you lobby the Europeans?
Oh, absolutely. Listen.
So you knew their stance.
Listen, we knew their
from
stance
the get-go.
We knew their stance going.
What were they proposing that you said you didn't?
Let's be clear. It is absolutely not correct that they have
tabled some proposals before you.
We're not considered.
Okay.
This is one of the most longest negotiated resolutions at the UN ever. Okay. That so many attempts. Because usually once you have gotten the thing, it goes under the distance system, what we call the silence procedure. Okay. Which is that now we have this thing. Anybody who has no objection, it goes forward. They broke it 3 times. Really? Then you have to then go back and renegotiate. The question is, this resolution is significant in 2 respects. One, it recognizes slavery as the gravest crime against humanity. And 2, that it was legally wrong. Always legally wrong. You are saying that we have to remove these 2 things from the resolution for you to back it.
Oh.
So what is the essence of the resolution? To come and make a political statement that slavery is bad. Okay. So this is the core of the resolution. And you are saying that even though 123 nations agree with this framing, to make you comfortable to join it, let's remove that for you to be able to join. Like I said, Europe is sending out a lot of these things and all the countries. This is my point that they will explain tire. They will continue to have to be on the defensive all the time because nobody understands that when the time for them to show the morality that they claim, that they chickened out. Nobody would understand.
And that's what I'm saying, that it's a very weird and a very confused position.
It is
so which is which?
It is
Are
very,
you for
very
or
rare.
against it?
So, and to be honest, these are the two key red lines that because they did not change, they are unable to back it. We did everything. We somersaulted for them even towards the last minute. But that's where they stayed. And fair to them, they're not the only countries in the world. The other countries looked at it and said, this is where we view on this. Now, if they believe that they want to be part of the framework going forward, well, the resolution makes way for that. It says that CARICOM, African Union, the Latin America, and any other organizations that are willing to join, let's put together the reparative justice framework. But let me make a last point. A country like Nicaragua has always opposed the International Criminal Court. Okay? The resolution talks about the International Criminal Court. On the floor, they came and explained their vote. We are voting yes, but we want to make clear that we have always not been in favor of the International Criminal Court. But that will not stand in our way of joining this resolution. That's what countries do all the time. That if there's, because nobody can have a perfect document that everybody feels like, you know.
Yeah,
you come and you say that I'm voting for it, but I still reserve my reservations around these two key points. That's
which is fair.
You made a particular choice and they must live by it.
Interesting. Doc, can I take a break? Because I don't want to interrupt when you start. I beg you. So you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Please don't go anywhere.
Start your kids' day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friendly Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Friendly once now. Hey, that's on you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the accent. Me did this sasso spray. Mr. Friendly sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso. Tum preko.
Hey, Banty, why you there? Well, lie, today I go give you my money.
Oh, my guy, what's up? Oba unze me dina dede baby. Scano ASA. 500 cedis per.
I see. Level don't change. But to show me the way.
But there's some sorry, Amanua. Talk to babe.
¿Quieres ganar dinero?
Huh?
Cash.
Yes, cash.
Let me show you the easy way to make money with one chat.
Visit the Wanna Own website at wannaown.us. Sign up with your phone number and get ready to play. Select games on the homepage and then select one-shot game. Deposit to make an entry, then pick a number from 0 to 99. If your number comes up, you win a cool 500 cedis.
Hey, so it'll be easy like that.
Just like that.
So I'll go to buy my dream car.
Por supuesto. Just visit wannaown.us and win some cool cash prizes.
It's me. Boom!
You be too much. Play responsibly. Gaming can be addictive. Accredited and endorsed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
When nations rise, it begins with bold conversations. When economies grow, it is driven by partnership. This April, Ghana's business and policy leaders converge at the Kwahu Business Forum 2026, the nation's premier platform for investment, enterprise, and economic transformation, with special guest of honor, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, joining captains of industry, financial institutions, investors, and entrepreneurs.
The Kwahu Business Forum is more than just an event. It is a call to action. And so let us work together to build a Ghana that is competitive, productive, and inclusive, and a Ghana that creates opportunities for all.
Come, let's engage in high-level dialogue, explore industry exhibitions, build powerful networks, and unlock real opportunities from finance and insurance to manufacturing, agribusiness, SMEs, and innovation. This is where it all happens. From the 3rd to the 5th of April 2026 at the Kwahu Convention Center in Praeso Hills. Go to www.kwahubusinessforum.com and register now. To register for exhibitions, call 059 555 5885 or 059 555 5995. Kwahu Business Forum. Connect, promote, grow.
Nara, me ding edge baby dapa, me dear sonko cran ebremo. Now the 20 animal with me ed Japan me de bremo. And no any samu spices. Samu spices in here. Ever wow no bebreo. Various flavors. Ubenya a yako. Ubenya nemchi. Yeduku jollof muma emu yede. Ubenya yeduku nkwan. Yeduku froyemo. Ho nako pebito. Na ema wedwiane enye de. Unyeminia. Yenkon yonko tie nyankofo eka.
Download your communication to you all enjoy Oduba. That's Samu spices. One in the essence, no time. I'm going to get it. Samu spices in a Sabi, Daddy so say. Samu spices.
Samu spices. Nyama chicken.
Samu spices.
In Sanaka in Kitswa, measure 10 grams. Your chicken, spaghetti, garlic and ginger, stew, and jollof, and the flavors of Bebre.
Samu spices. Yes, Saka.
FDRJ Jadien Kratoyatum.
It's going to be a celebration with Kivo this year at Kwahu. Step into the Kivo village at Obomin Market and enjoy correct chicken soup cooked with Kivo 100% natural spices, and refresh yourself with Kivo Gary Soakins mix any time of the day. Special appearance at the Kivo village is the Metro TV Jollof Festival. Live cooking, food tasting, and non-stop entertainment. Remember to join us daily for the true taste of Ghana, made with Kivo 100% natural spices and your favorite, the Kivo Gary Soakins mix at the Kivo village at the Obomin Market all day, all night. Kivo, taste of Ghana. From the 2nd to the 6th of April, don't miss it. Kivo Village, taste the culture, live the moment. Kwahu, Kwahu.
It is time to acknowledge openly that much of Europe and the United States have been built from the vast wealth harvested from the sweat, tears, blood, and horrors of the transatlantic slave trade and the centuries of colonial exploitation. Maybe we should also admit that it cannot be easy to build confident and prosperous societies from nations that for centuries have their natural resources looted and their peoples traded as commodities. For centuries, the world has been unwilling and unable to confront the realities of the consequences of the slave trade. But gradually, this is changing, and it is time to bring the subject of reparations firmly to the fore. Granted, the current generations are not the ones that engaged in the slave trade, but that grand inhuman enterprise was state-sponsored and deliberate, and its benefits are clearly interwoven with the present-day economic architecture of the nations that designed and executed it. Reparations must be paid for the slave trade.
You're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. I'm here with, well, first of all, my name is Aldo Moro, and I'm here with Oliver Baka Vomawo, who is a policy expert or a governance expert and also a private legal practitioner. Remember, he's also the man behind the democracy have in charge of strategy and so on and so forth. Now, also here's a doctor, Joshua Jebunte Zato, who's also a lecturer with the Political Science Department, University of Ghana, and also a member of APL, that's Africa Policy Lens. He's with us here. We're looking at some of the top stories that have been published by the newspapers for today, and one of it has to do with the reparative or the reparation conversation. Fortunately for us, Oliver is here. He played a key role in that victory that Ghana and Africa chalked, and for that matter, the Caribbean states chalked, in getting the United Nations to adopt that motion that yes, this barbaric, this heinous crime which was committed centuries ago, many years ago, was actually the gravest crime against humanity. Some are uncomfortable with that. They don't think that is the gravest. They think it's one of the bad things, but not the gravest. Oliver disagrees with them and is giving us very cogent and very valid reasons why, for him, the description of the transatlantic slave trade and slavery in general was the gravest, crime which has been committed against humanity. Doctor, Dr. Joshua, let me bring you in here. I'm sure you've heard some of the things that Oliver has said. First of all, even if you don't want to respond to some of the things he said, what's your own general thoughts about these feasts that Ghana, Africa has chalked, and some of the issues that have come up?
Thank you very much. I think we could all have sat there and listened to the lecture by Oliver until the show ends. become spectators.
Yes.
No, but there was something that he said about a human being, who qualifies as a human being.
Right.
And that the fact that it was a little bit kind of contested because they felt that we wanted to win a human being. If you are a Sesala man in general, you die, or if you're a Tumu, from Tumu, you die. There's a ritual we perform. It's called Kuchunu. It involves slaughtering a cow and giving it to you. It's a spiritual exercise. And the invocation or incarnation is like, this is yours, your glory. Take it along with you. But that if you meet somebody who is higher or bigger than you, give it to the person.
Okay.
And it's because the Sesales or the Tumulo recognize that as part of our history, there were men who died that we couldn't give them their due. And some of them could be the slaves. Some of them could be people who went like that.
Yeah.
So in Africa or in our culture, as Sesales or as Tumulo, we always recognize this idea that others have gone. And so we need to keep reminding them. So they give it to you. So if you are one today, you go and meet a great-great-grand ancestor, somebody who was never done this honor, you give it to the person, God does it. And that is what I'm saying. So that's why we always acknowledge that those who died on their way there, those who went there and died, they are still part of us. And then we still owe them, both in the spiritual realm and in the current realm, as people, so that helps make our societies whole. And that is a very important thing that probably these people do not acknowledge. Look, I think that we can begin talking about the victories. This was a victory for humanity. Humanity as a whole. That look, we've come to this acknowledgement that the fact that it made it to the UN, the fact that it was adopted, of course, there are always going to be objections to this. But the fact that more than half of the members of the UN, over 100 of them rose up, raised their hands and got counted, means that humanity has won. We cannot and should not focus on the few that did not come, because it's about humanity. And most of these battles, in fact, if you read the history, it has taken years and years and years for this thing to even make it to the UN.
Right.
People have fought this battle and died and never seen it here.
Yeah.
So humanity has won. It's also a victory for the black race. He talked about some of the people that came there.
From 1963, which at the time was the Organization of African Union.
Yeah, even before that, look, he talked about some of the people that came there were Al Sharpton and others. And I'm sure if this guy wasn't dead, he would have been there. The guy in Chicago. Like, most people fought this over years to get here. So this is also a victory for the United Nations in and of itself. There's war raging, and the United Nations is helpless.
Absolutely.
Cannot end the war. So it is good to know that they can do something else. Even if it's a moral victory, but it's more than moral, it's a legal victory. So it's a victory for both the black race and the United Nations. And yes, look, we can be fair with it. It's a victory for President Mahama. His first major outing in the UN, and is coming back with a major victory. But he stood on the soldiers of, as I was saying, that the people who have worked, who have paved this road. He got us across the finishing line. You just played a video before we came of President Akufo-Addo making the same claims, making the same things. He didn't get us across the line. But President Mahama finally got us, so it's a victory for him too. And it's a victory for those like Professor Akufo-Addo who contributed. And finally, it's a victory for Ghana. Look, when we were the first to raise the Black Star on the polo grounds, the whole world had us.
Absolutely.
When Kwame Nkrumah raised the Black Star up, and when we declared independence, the whole world stood, held their breath and said, who is this? Who are these people? In the time being, we have faltered, we've done some wrongs, but we've come back. And this is another way of announcing. So we're like, where is this small, let me say small country, West Africa, leading this? Because you expect that such monumental, historical events are led by, let me say, bigger countries, with bigger resources, bigger money. And so we are continuing with what our forebears taught us, that the Ghanaian should dream big, we should work hard, and we'll get it. And it's something that you've seen. In fact, we have also tried to establish something that our politics stops at the water's edge. Our politics stops at the water's edge. So whenever the president, whenever the president is out there, the whole country is kind of like gives him a break.
It's like the Black Stars.
Exactly, the Black Stars, until they lose 5-1. So we do that. Our politics ends at the water's edge. And so the moment the president is out there conducting diplomacy, the normal politic and the normal tackling him stops. Until he comes back, he's come back. They will continue where we left off. So every Ghanaian can and should be proud that this history, look, as you said, 10 years from now, 20, 30, even 100 years from now, when students and when people and diplomats read this declaration, they are going to say it was led by what? The president of Ghana, it was led by Ghana. And that is one of the things that stays in the UN system, becomes part of international laws, international norms that should make you happy and proud of a Ghanaian. Cool. Look, I can understand the Europeans. Because see, theirs is shame, is guilt, and also fear of what? Being told to pay.
Yeah.
So sometimes I understand how nations behave rationally on the international stage. Because the first thing they're asking themselves is, if this goes on later becomes, and that is why those two things were very critical for them. Reparation, the idea there can be reparations and this. If you say we should pay, they are going to pay now, right? And they think, if you're a European diplomat, you ask, how do I explain to generations of today that the railways that were built, that we are using today, the power grid that was built, the roads that were, the system that was built that we are benefiting today was built by freed labor. And that now we have to start paying them. How do you say that? That's what I said. How do you tell the Church of England that you are whom you are today because of slavery? And that even when slavery was finished, you will pay reparations for it. But today, the Church of England is afraid to pay reparations, even though they receive reparations. That's the funny thing. The blistering and the pristine cathedrals you see there were built by forced people. You worship there. When slavery ended, you were paid reparations for those slaves. But today, you are afraid that you'll be told to pay reparations. So the Church of England and Christianity in general can also be complicit in this. So I understand where the Europeans are coming from, that this is what is happening. Okay. Then you go back. I can understand where Israel is coming from this. For a very long time, Israel has used the Holocaust, I don't want to say to blackmail humanity or to shame humanity into getting what they want. Israel has done that successfully. In their foreign policy, they never shy away from the game. When you hear the Israelis say never again, they're saying never the Holocaust again. So the question, in fact, this war, the fact that America has written a blank check to Israel to defend them everywhere, isn't so that the Holocaust doesn't happen again. If all of a sudden we have now raised slavery in the national state to be higher in the rank of other than the Holocaust, the Israelis like, what then do we have? If the Holocaust is now number 2, well, can we go ahead to blackmail humanity, to talk about this and to do that? And Israel has increasingly become a very racist country. We must also say that to black people and to minorities. And so they genuinely, for their rational and national interests, they also raising these questions. If we are ranking them, you talk about the ranking system. If we are ranked number 2, then well, we cannot go above the number 1.
But what is the useful basis for even this ranking? Why do we even need a ranking?
No. We need it for the slave because it's important to say that one is more than the other. We've said it. Look, it's one than we.
What I'm trying to even say is that there is absolutely no doubt that the transatlantic slavery and slavery in general is incomparable to any other kind of.
But no, you cannot say it's unquestionable. Israel is questioning that, but Israel is questioning that. America is questioning that. They are doing it. So there is a basis for them in their national interest. There is a basis,
and we are entitled to
exactly.
tell them that there's no basis.
So they are also entitled to. So we are saying the same thing. We are saying the same thing.
I get it. No, I'm not just telling you what
for long that has been the argument. For long that has been the currency they are choosing. For long that has been what they are saying. All of a sudden you are waking up to tell them that, hey, by the way, you are no more number one. Then they will vote against it. And America, of course, we know America. We know the man in the White House.
We're talking close to 15 million.
We know the man in the White House in the United States. We know the Republicans are there, and they are conservatives. And the conservatives always believe that we should let the status quo stay. So we knew it was never going to be. In fact, if there was a Democrat in the White House, I think that would have been there. Even if they will not vote for it, they may abstain, not vote against.
Yes.
If there was a demand, because there's no way 20% of about 30% of the base of Democratic Party is black people. Yeah. So I'm going to see that black president, that Democrat, who is going to look at 30% of his base and say, I won't vote for this. So then you don't understand this. But put together, despite the fiercest resistance from the most powerful country in the world, despite the fiercest resistance from Israel, and as for Argentina, I don't want to talk about that. Despite all these things, this resolution has passed. Humanity has won, and we have to be grateful for that. It also tells us something as a country, if we take on bigger fights,
absolutely,
we can win.
Collectively.
Yes. It also tells us that as a country, in fact, and look, just one thing, even if an incumbent president doesn't win, the next president will continue. And that also talks about our rate of policy continuation in this country. We don't celebrate that enough. Yeah. We don't celebrate. We look at but if you look at the work that has been done, others come and follow and follow and follow. I'm sure somewhere there in the Foreign Affairs Minister's office, he read some notes. He saw something from somewhere. I'm sure somebody told the president this was what I've done. This is how far we've come. Policy continuation is a very important and powerful tool in this country, and we should celebrate it. As a country, this should also tell us how far we can go if we put ourselves to it, that we can make ourselves a global star like we do again and continue to go about. Okay? We just hope that the Black Stars don't dim this victory today by doing something bad. But we are on a roll, Ghana. We are on a roll.
We talk about European countries, so you know that there are. So when we talk about some of the powerful states in this country, powerful countries in Europe, United Kingdom is one of them. You can't go past them. These are colonial masters. Now, they abstained. They're part of those who abstained. The likes of Argentina, America, etc., and Israel. Then I heard Kemi,
yes,
who is the leader of the Conservative Party in the UK,
yes,
telling her country that don't spend my taxpayer or my taxes in instituting any kind of reparative justice for Africans. Of course, she doesn't really tell us why. I mean, her basis.
She told you why. You didn't listen.
I'm saying that it wasn't substantive enough, because she said, the only thing she said was that Britain was actually at the forefront of liberating us.
See, now let's start from there. So she said something. That argument, Britain has always made it. And that is the weakest argument, and it's so porous that so now I don't comprehend it. Think about it. You set fire to the house. You set fire to the building. Now that it is the fire is burning, you now go and fetch water and come to put it off. And then when you do that, you do something else. They didn't just stop at the first of all. The British set the house on fire. It was burning. They went, built a coalition to it. Now, when they put it out, they didn't stop them. They paid compensation to the Church of England. They paid companies who benefited from it. So, I mean, look. So again, look at what they did. We burned the house down. Whilst it was burning, we tried to bring some water to put the. After doing that, we now say, okay, hey, you, the Church of England, you bought slaves from Ghana. And the slave had to build these beautiful cathedrals, and it's a made you rich. But now that we are stopping it, you are losing revenue. The state will compensate you for the loss of that revenue. And then we are not being told that, yeah, that's okay, be happy. Even be happy that we burn the house and then we turn it off again. That is the kind of logic that we are being faced. And so whenever they shout we stop slavery, they want you to forget that what they did to it, how they burned the house and they hand it came. Now, in the case of Kemi, look, Kemi, what's her name? Is the leader of the Conservative Party, the official minority leader in the UK.
Yes.
No, that's a position. She's the minority leader. If today there are snap election in the UK and the Conservative wing, she'll be the Prime Minister. So we must understand. She has a party, and sometimes this is where I say ideology matters in their politics. And our politics say that. So Kemi the pragmatists, Kemi Umasu said that she's Nigerian of Nigerian descent, right?
Well, she's of Nigerian descent, yeah.
Of descent, let me descent of black.
But I think she was born and bred in the UK.
Okay, whatever it is, I'm saying that as a Nigerian descent. You could say that Kemi
I mean, she went to school in Nigeria for a long time.
She was born high school. She was born in the UK.
She was born in Nigeria and went back to Nigeria.
So Kemi the individual, Kemi the human being, Kemi the black woman, she's a black woman, we must say that, would have voted somewhere. Kemi is also a leader of a political party. That party has an ideology and a philosophy. And they are conservatives. So the philosophy and the ideology of conservatives all over the world is not to bring about radical change.
So you'll not be fair to her to say that's her personal view.
Exactly. That's where I'm coming to. That's where I'm coming to. I just told you that.
So she can't disagree.
Again, let me come back. I'm not holding a back. I want you to understand. I want you to understand how she came to that decision. Then we can then either reject it. Trump is a conservative in the White House, and I told you there's no conservative who's going to vote for this. And that's also told them they were Democrats, they would have voted for it. Yeah. So you understand the ideological disposition to issues like this.
Yes.
Secondly, then, Kemi is what's her name? A conservative.
Yes.
And the conservatives think similar to those there. Right. So from that ideological, probably if she has supported it, maybe by today they would have been in a contest to replace her as the conservative leader. It could have happened today. Somebody would have disagreed
publicly.
If she had disagreed publicly, if she had not taken a position, she would have been removed today. So that is she's supporting or upholding the conservative ideological position on things like this. Now we can now say, well, was it worth it being coming to support it and losing your job? We will say yes.
Right.
Right? We will say that being on the right side of history. Let history remember that there was once a conservative leader who stood up for what is right and ignored his own political ideological benefits, and because of that lost the job, which places her at a heartbeat to become the prime minister. But she thinks it's too big a price to pay.
Yes.
We leave it to her and history and her conscience.
I do want to bring the conversation a bit home, because the point he makes, because I was struggling with Afenyo's position on this thing as President Parliament. Listen, everybody who knows me privately knows that I speak highly of Afenyo Makin because I think he's a crafty politician. He does his job so well. But on this issue, I must say that he has lost me. I don't understand his position. His position not to be aligned with the party. Even in general, I've seen so many people within on the opposition come out strongly and talk about how this is important. They've talked about the consistent record of the former president in speaking on this issue. And so I am a bit surprised as to the position he has taken, particularly coming from a coastal area and constituencies which were affected by some of these issues. I do hope that he comes back on this and that he redeems himself. But for me, I'm a bit disappointed in the position he's taken.
Right. All right. So before there's some other angles that we haven't explored because time is not our best friend. So I want us to use the next, let's say 7 minutes to look at this matter. Now, the Herald today, Oliver, is reporting that you are unhappy about the way the state is handling this Abutrika matter. Now, you're alleging severe breaches in the Abutrika case, and you're revealing an amount involved as $13,000 and not $8 million. What's happening? In fact, it's in today's Larry Dogbe's Herald. Can you throw some more light on this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is also important. Because you had asked me a question backstage about how I got involved in this.
Yeah,
and I want to be clear that from the beginning I have been clear as to what my interest in the matter is.
Right.
I did not know Abutrika anywhere.
Okay.
I have never even heard of him till this issue happened. My interest has been in terms of the unequal relationship that this extradition treaty establishes and Ghana's own role in facilitating this one-way traffic where our requests are ignored and we are not able to extradite anybody. But then they run roughshod here. They have FBI agents going into police cells, interrogating people on their own, as happened with Abutrika. Like they're just running roughshod of a country that claims itself sovereign. And that's why I became interested in getting involved in this. Now, the real case before the court is not even in the question of what is the quantum, which is the question.
Right.
The US has charged him with 2 offenses: conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy against money laundering. If you take the treaty that was signed between the US and the UK, which because we were a colony, our own Supreme Court said it continues to apply to us, it lists the offenses that are under the treaty. Conspiracy is not one of those offenses. So it's not even an extraditable offense. And so, and what did we do? We sat down. It's been historical record from 1931. We went back to 1899 and showed how consistently, even in U.S. courts, they have shown that conspiracy is not one of them, and they refuse to extradite on the basis of conspiracy. We have shown how in law, the language of participation in a crime, which is abetment, is not the same as conspiracy. We showed how other countries like Malta, which were all under the same treaty as us, have now gone into a new treaty which amends the existing one to add conspiracy, which confirms again that it was not part of the extraditable offenses. So we did all this and we sent to the court. The district magistrate, which is the only district magistrate that does extradition cases, has a 100% record in extraditing people, looks at this and says it doesn't matter. It's a crime, it's a crime.
Strange.
It's strange to us. So that's what is before the Court of Appeal. So it has nothing to do with the quantum issue. Now we haven't addressed this quantum issue because he, Abu Trika, for instance, had constantly been saying that he's been hearing this 8 million and it's been bothering him. We should say something about it. And we said, it is not important to the legal issue. And in any event, we want you to come and speak on it publicly. It's not my place to come and be a PR on what is the right amount involved. 6 applications for bail, all rejected.
Wow.
Even when we were sitting down, doing nothing, waiting for 2 months, for the US to bring whatever evidence they're talking about, it will still not be given bail in this matter, which is strange. Now, we've gotten to the point where we are now talking about, not again the main legal challenge, but this, where did this 8 million derive from? And how did it become the subject of the news? Because then there's an entrapment. An FBI individual comes to him and says, hey, I get some cash. Can you help me find some bank account? I'll give you some of the money. He also goes and finds somebody's account and says, okay, this is an account you can transfer it into. And then they give him part of the money, $13,000. How did this 8 million come from and whereabouts? They themselves, the addition of the funds they bring is not up to 8 million. One. Secondly, they are claiming that the account you brought, we went into the account and we look at the historical transactions in those accounts, which is a company account. There's over 8 million in there. And so you have counted elderly people of 8 million. First of all, where did the elderly people come from? We don't know. The person who, the setup you did was an FBI undercover agent. There was no older person involved. This is the reason why you charged him with conspiracy and not wire fraud or money laundering. Conspiracy means that the person agreed to do something. That's the offense. So I am certain that the Yoko then went to put up a statement, notorious fraudster arrested. These are the things that we have challenged in court. Again, I do not hold brief for Abu Trika. Right. It's not my place to. My question for us is that one, our institutions should not be involved in the process of character assassination of suspects who have not had their day in court yet. That is an absolutely no-no. 2, we are in fact questioning how is the FBI in ourselves interrogating suspects in Ghana. We don't understand how that came from. It's one of the things that we have sued the FBI directly in connection with here. 3,
I mean, you're a victim of that. Interestingly, he's a victim of that.
3, let us get the information correctly. I understand the work in which we are doing and trying to malign and castigate. But at least, please explain to me how you arrived at this 8 million clarification. Because what has been produced to us and we read, if the FBI undercover agent says to Abu Trika, you know, I'll find some 62,000 which will come. Okay, I'll give you your share. Then they write it and add, Abu Trika scammed somebody of an additional 62,000. And if the person mentioned in the course of their conversation to him are all listed, then to arrive at these astronomical figures, I saw another gentleman, Ghanaian gentleman, who was saying, where they said 100 million. So they are padding this thing for sensational value. And that's what we are talking about here. But on the real question as to whether or not the extradition treaty, which one was challenged as to how can the colonial treaty bind us, the Supreme Court says we were subjects and so we continue to be bound by it, that we can't go into it. But as to the offenses that are listed in the treaty, which are not part of the offenses he has been charged with, this is something for the courts to pronounce on, and which is we are going to the High Court for.
No, you see, there's something that he was saying, if you could hear that it seems our Ioko, whenever the FBI says jump, they say hi. It seems Ioko has become a tool in the hands of the FBI, in this case, to use to what? Suppress and undermine the human rights of Ghanaian citizens. Right. I don't know why such an elite organization would allow itself to be used and misused and abused in this manner. And we've heard a lot of Ghanaians cry out about how, in fact, this new FBI that under the Kenyan guy is being doing that. It's not nice. Because there's something that he's saying. It seems this Abu Trika man, is it Trika or Trika?
Trika, yes.
is on a fast track to be extradited.
Oh, yes.
But the government of Ghana also wants Ghanaians to be returned. I don't know whether they are also on such a fast track.
Oh no.
Can we ask that question? That at least there's a convicted criminal in the United States, convicted, because as he says, the lawyer, this guy is not yet convicted.
Yeah.
Mere allegations. There is a convicted Ghanaian living in the United States of America. Are you also extradited? Because I don't think the FBI is doing that. I don't think it's in the interest of the FBI.
Who is this person you're talking about?
What's her name? Stamaklu. She's convicted.
Oh, steady now. Okay.
She's actually convicted.
Yes.
So my point is that why is it that our EOCO is bent on bending back to satisfy ABI?
Please,
Why are you not doing that? I don't understand that.
Pause there without rhetorical questioning. I want you to discover MNC Group Global. They are number one partner in minerals and food commodities trading. It's a real estate development. They are
you want me to discover?
They do general procurement, management consultancy, investment advisory, import and export. And they have headquarters in East Legon. They have offices in Dubai, they have offices in Hong Kong and Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg in South Africa, Virginia, USA, Arezzo in Italy, and Hanover in Germany. We connect markets that drive businesses growth with tailor-made solutions to meet your needs. Trust us to maximize your value in every deal. So reach us on MNC Group at mncgroupgh.com or call us on 0302 998 246 998 246 or 0265 505 337. or 056 103 2252. MNC Group, totally reliant. Let me just do two messages and then we can end the show. So Peter T from Shukra says, under Nana Bamiak administration, Ghana is for the first time became the worst economic performing country within blah blah blah. Okay, and he says that prosperity will judge all of us. We're not discussing economy today. Sandy Salu says policy is a game of continuity, and JM has put the icing on the cake on reparation. I would have been very surprised if Argentina had voted yes. This reparatory exercise, because of the genocidal massacre they committed against blacks in their country. Have you ever seen a dark guy from Argentina? This one here says that Dennis Carter says, good morning, I'm very disappointed with the leader of the Conservative the leader of the Conservative Party, Kemi Badnoch. I'm not surprised because her denial about her own Nigerians tells it all. But he continues to say, I don't agree with Dr. Zato. Kenny Badnoch from day one has not acted as an African. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm says, my brother, I'm particularly happy to be a proud Ghanaian, and of course it's proud African because at least 123, not 153, countries voted in favor of the notion and only 3 voted against. So this goes to show that slave trade as a crime against humanity has been recognized, and that is a good move for Africa as a whole. And in my humble opinion, President Mahama and all the other leaders who fought for us to achieve this struggle must be commended. Indeed, President Mahama has made me proud, and we need to salute him for this effort. Idi Mukhtar says that please tell Dr. Zato that we're begging him to tone down a bit. He's too well, and many are complaining. It's like he makes. Okay, he should also be mindful of his. Okay, all right. I don't think this is. I don't like personality attacks. When you send me personality attacks, I won't read it. And let me just end with this. So Hassan says that was it true that a minority leader made comments against the reparation of slavery? Okay, I think we've addressed that as well. Anyway, there's a gentleman called Peter Nyaku. He says he's been looking for you. He says he has some information.
Jesus Christ loves you, and greater love hath no man. Because of his love, he opens the way. He opens eyes, ears, and minds. Open your heart and experience General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and feel his love.